Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Friday, September 22nd. I am here live from Chicago, Illinois. I only have a couple more weeks here. Thank God. I'm ready to get back to beautiful California. I will be making some stop-offs in DC. So if anybody has DC recommendations, hit me up because I will be in there for Thursday night football between the Bears and the Commanders. I'll be taking an 8-hour drive tomorrow to watch the Chicago Bears get sent to God by Patrick Mahomes. So I will be there doing that. But we've got a full show to y'all for the day, man. We gonna then we got Damian filling in for Mikey. Mikey will not be here. He is I think he's at a wedding this weekend. As you can see, we've got the crew, Dante, Bang, and Damian is here. Damian has not been on anything Barber's Chair related because he is a married man right now. He is a married man with responsibilities. He does not have time for the foolishness, even though Bang is a married man too. So I don't know why I said it like Bang is a married too. But Bang has responsibilities too. But Bang profession just happens to be the stuff that we do. Me and Dante, we have time to talk about sports all day like we don't have a life. But Damian is here to fill in for Mikey. Mikey will have his weekly parlay. He just sent me an on-location video. This nigga is like he's in New Mexico.
In my old city.
Yeah, he's in your old spot. He in Albuquerque. He on the set of the first Thor movie. So I will be posting that on Sunday so y'all can get y'all parlays. We will be joined by the homie Chaz in just a minute. But how are y'all three doing today? By the way, we're gonna start off with the local hour. When we're doing the interview, follow us at Barbers Chat Network at Barbers Chat Net on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. There was no summer sessions this week because I was at Pavy's Pop's retirement party, which was very interesting to say the least. But we had a good time. We'll be back next week for that. But how y'all three doing, man?
I'm solid, bro. Like you said, we got a lot of bullshit going on with the Bears. We got crackheads coming in stealing workout equipment. Man, it's just a shit show up top. So I mean, other than that, I really can't complain. like we said before we got online, a lot of excitement between the Falcons fans and everything they got going with Bijan and that team and that division. But other than that, man, I'm really chilling. How y'all boys doing?
Go ahead. Yeah, I've been good. It's been a minute doing this shit. Like I think the last time I was on was summer sessions, and a nigga had to record that from a conference room at work. So it felt good to be having my headphones on and my mic set up. Took me a minute to remember how to do this shit, but glad to be back. Got my red cup, but don't be fooled. I'm a changed man. This is water.
That is water. Okay. We're making progress, brother. Bang, how's it going, bro?
Aaron Rodgers could kiss my ass. That's why shit popped.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if y'all saw it.
The text.
But he sent the text. Jordan Love.
Yeah.
And that's God. What I say, God don't like ugly, y'all.
God don't like ugly.
What text?
Yeah. Well, the text said, "Thank you for keeping ownership." That is what he told Jordan Love.
How?
Yeah, exactly. It's been that kind of a time right now. Shout out to
the Bears all week. It's just been rough for y'all.
I'm used to it. I'm used at this point. Let's
Trayvon tore his ACL. I could be like, hey, we ain't the Bears this week, so.
As we see, we got the rundown here. We're going to start off with our interview to kick this off. Then we're going to talk about what's going on in Halas. Give y'all a full Bears-Chiefs preview here this local hour. We'll be starting off with the local hour. Then we will go to the national hour, which we will have Courtney will be joining us, and we'll be going over all of the things that's going on in the rest of the NFL. So we're going to start this off with our first interview, man. We're going to bring the homie Kaz in, man. Kaz, what's going on, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. I appreciate you having me on the show. Proud of the growth, you know what I mean? I feel like we've known each other for a minute. We should have did this, but I appreciate you having me on right now, man. Thank you.
Well, you came on to the show last year when it was just me, and I decided I need to spike some things up a little bit, man. I feel like there's a little bit more entertaining way you can do things, and so I feel like we've only been a couple weeks into this thing, but we getting some good traction, man. So I definitely wanted to get you on and just talk some sports, man. So before we get everything, for people who are not familiar with you, you have a long list of stuff you do. You work with MSG Networks. You do the Knicks coverage over there. Or you have your own podcast, Say Less with Kaz, with you, Low Key, Rosie. You do stuff with the Ring of Wrestling, your show on PointsBet USA. Did I forget anything?
WWE Ultimate on Peacock.
WWE,
on there. I think that's about it. I think that covers most of it. Wale Mania Curator.
Wale Mania.
Planning that whole thing out for the next few months, but I stay busy. And I heard what you said about people not being down with foolishness because they have like kids and they married and stuff. I am the same way, and I'm still down for the foolishness. So I presented that statement. I was like, wait a minute. What am I doing wrong right now? But it all worked out.
We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, man. We have 3 married people in here today. It was you, Bang, and Damian. Me and Dante are like what's the new Drake song? Search and Rescue? That's us right now. So, we glad that you take your time on here to join us, man. But it's been a crazy week in the NFL. When I mean by crazy, I mean more specifically the team that I cover on 1920 Football Drive. I just want to know from an outsider's perspective, what you think about the mess that's been going on with the Bears. I know how Bears fans feel. What tell me what you were thinking when all this news was just simultaneously breaking.
So you gotta understand, right? Your news broke maybe 24 hours after, 24 to 36 hours after watching Zach Wilson and the Jets, stinking up against Dallas Cowboys, Giants losing, you know what I mean? So it's been rough for New York football fans because, we thought this year was going to be a real, and it still has a chance to be a really solid year. But I'll be honest, like, as soon as all that Bear stuff was happening, I was like, thank God that's not happening here, yo. It can always be worse. It can always be worse, yo. Like, I'm thinking of, obviously Aaron Rodgers injured for the year, talking about doing some experimental Achilles treatment, trying to come back for the playoffs, which sounds nuts, but that's like my glimmer of hope that I'm holding on to. I'm watching Daniel Jones and that terrible O-line getting absolutely manhandled against the San Francisco 49ers last night, which is terrible. But yet again, as I'm watching that in the back of my head, I'm like, we don't look as bad as the Chicago Bears right now, bro. Yeah. Because amongst all that, I put out a tweet like right after the first slate of games on Sunday, and I asked specifically Chicago people, because I'm a Justin Fields fan. I thought, it was between him and Zach Wilson. I'm like, man, I would love to have him in New York, but he ended up a Chicago Bears. So I asked Chicago fans, is it really not on Justin Fields right now, or what's really going on? Because I couldn't, I'm on red zone. I can't see every single down. And I asked something similar to that last year, and everybody kind of put me on game. Like, listen, the coaching is terrible. They ain't really got no offensive firepower. And all the rules like that Mike Greenberg always talks about, how franchises ruin quarterbacks more than they make good ones, was starting to come true. But anybody I talked to said it's not really on Justin Fields because he still looks like he has a ton of talent and does all this other stuff. When I asked this past Sunday, it was the first time I heard mad people just like, nah, Justin Fields might be trash, yo. and for a second, I thought this is just emotional people on a Sunday after your team loses and you're just being hyperbolic and all that type of stuff. But then, was it Monday or Tuesday happens, and he's in front of the press pretty much throwing his coaches under the bus. And I was just like, damn, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, as bad as it is, bro, like, you can't ever do that. So even though it was a mistake and he owned it and he came back later and said, whatever, he'll take the blame for everything. It feels like the damage was kind of already done. And as a quarterback, bro, like, you kind of got to be a politician, man. Like, I've seen enough terrible quarterback play to last me 3 lifetimes.
You and me both.
and for all those terrible quarterbacks that I've seen, it's very rare that you hear any of those quarterbacks just pretty much flat out say the coaches are keeping me from playing the game that I want to play. Yeah. You just don't do that. Even if it's true, you're not even really supposed to say that. So I would say from the outside looking in, I'm very much on the side of it could always be worse. At least my team isn't the Chicago Bears right now. You got people breaking into your facilities, stealing lawnmowers and
stealing lawnmowers.
It's all bad over there.
Like the funny thing about it, and I'll do like a full breakdown, later on. But like the thing for me is like I was there, so like the craziness, like I really felt like Ian Rappaport on Wednesday. Honestly, like when my phone was blowing up, like it was crazy. I had to legit put it on like D&D, like for the entirety of the time I was out because it was just one thing after another. And when Justin came to the podium and said that, and I forgot who asked the question. I think it was my man Jason Leeser from Chicago Tribune. I think he asked a question to Justin that had him say coaching. And when he said that, I looked around like, I'm not. Did I hear that correctly? Like I don't want to misquote him, and then he get mad at me or something. So I was like, nah, he said coaching. So I immediately sent that out on the 7 Night the Halas page. Everybody else sent it out. And it just felt like he was cutting a Tupac Picture Me Rolling type promo. And so I'm like, okay, he's really doing this. You know what I'm saying? But I knew something was fishy when he addressed the media first before Coach Flus, because it's usually Flus, then it's Justin. And so I was like, okay, something is up today. And so when we did locker room, like it was just weird stuff all day. I heard somebody's breaking in. I'm like, look, I've been here since 9:30. I ain't seen no FBI. I ain't seen no police. Nothing. Trust me, I'd have seen them pulling up in here. So that was crazy. And then when the second interview that pulled up, and by the way, Elon, I need my money because my Just Feel video got 1 million views. I need my check. I need my Elon bucks. But when he came and did that, we went to the locker room and we got Bears PR was like, oh, Justin want to talk to y'all. So I'm like that Drewski give. I'm like, me? Like, he talking about me? So then it's like, oh, he got the call from the higher ups because we did not misquote him whatsoever. So it's like all this stuff going on. I didn't really get to see the reaction from everybody else who weren't Bears fans because I wasn't on Twitter at the time. So it was real interesting to see hear your take on it, man. But let's talk about the Jets. The Jets are a team that came into this year a lot of hype, rightfully so. When you get like Aaron, nobody knows more than me what kind of guy, what he's capable of. And to me, I felt on paper they had the best team that he's had in a long time, maybe since that 2014 Packers team. And to have it go down the way it went down, I said this week, we put out a TikTok or whatever. I was like, look, I feel bad for Jets fans. I don't have it in me to be sad for Aaron Rodgers. I don't laugh at injuries. I don't. I do not laugh at injuries, but I just didn't feel bad for him. But I feel bad for Jets fans. I got a lot of Jets homies. What do you feel about, like what happened? Like what went through your head when that happened? Because I kind of feel like it was a movie. You had all the athletes there, all the celebrities, and it just happened real quick. What did you feel in that time, and what do you think the rest of the season can go even without Aaron?
So I live in Jersey. I live literally like a stone's throw away from MetLife Stadium, and I was so not just hyped up for that game. You got to understand, I'm watching Hard Knocks every week, getting this Jets fan dopamine pumped into my system every single week. And as an adult, I've never had this much optimism for a Jets season in my life. Probably the closest I've came to it was the Rex Ryan, Mark Sanchez, Darrelle Revis, LaDainian Tomlinson Jets that, Bart Scott teams that was put together that, almost took it to the AFC East and went to the AFC Championship. So when I tell you the culmination of my Jets fandom, like it crescendoed at number 8, running down that tunnel, waving the American flag on September 11th. Mind you, I'm not even used to seeing Jets games in prime time, right? Like I didn't even recognize my own stadium. I'm like, this is what it looks like at night. This is what y'all used to. Y'all just get nighttime football all the time. Like we don't get that. Like it was just a rare thing. So everything, I'm like, oh my God, it's really happening. Like the Jets are actually going to be a team to. I'm not crazy to just say, oh, it's going to be Super Bowl or bust. But I'm like the Jets are going to be playing meaningful football for most of the fall. I can at least guarantee that. And to not even get that is the epitome of just knowing when your team is cursed, especially at the quarterback position. Like the Vinny Testaverde torn Achilles was a little bit before my time, but it definitely helped me remember just all the people that were just not Jets fans when I was a kid, because stuff like that would happen to the Jets all the time. But me, I became a Jets fan around the Herm Edwards era when I was like, oh, this is my guy. Black head coach talking that shit.
You play to win the game.
Play to win the game. I'm like, I like him. I'm a ride with this dude. So I was Jets fan since then. So it doesn't take a whole lot of research to know we haven't had a whole lot of success since then. So now when you're watching weeks full of Hard Knocks, you're seeing how loaded the team was. And not that they're still not loaded. I mean, Dalvin Cook's still there. Breece Hall looked healthy as hell. Sauce is going to be Sauce. CJ Mosley, Quentin Williams, Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard. They're still pretty loaded. But, it all circles around number 8 or number 12 to you guys. And it's just sad, man. Like, it's you got to understand, New York sports in general, I feel like was sold a bag of goods that just weren't good this year, right? Like, you got to remember the Mets and the Yankees was coming in super hyped up. Re-signed Judge.
Both flamed out.
Yankees are gonna flame out. Mets spend $1 zillion in salary cap, all that stuff. Sign with these guys, flame out. Giants and Jets, all right. Giants had a little surprising run. They're gonna go in there and at least be solid. Outside of one half against the worst team in football, they've looked terrible.
Which the call was made in Arizona. Somebody's like, "Did y'all see Caleb this weekend?"
Exactly.
Cut that out.
I said, people was like, "Oh, you got to hear the halftime speech that they gave Daniel Jones at halftime." I'm like, no, you got to hear the halftime speech that the Arizona Cardinals owner said. Pretty much saying like, "Yo, if y'all want to be bounced out 1-0 next weekend, you better cut the shit."
Exactly.
And the Jets, unfortunately. So I mean, I don't think this season's lost. I still feel like, you went up against the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys. Those first 6 games for the Jets are going to be tough games regardless, even with Aaron Rodgers. And the fact is they got 1 out of 2 of them already. So, it's maybe this is my Jets optimism still speaking for itself. Obviously, it comes down when you don't have Aaron Rodgers, but I still believe in that defense. And I still think, you get the ball to Breece Hall and seeing – how good he looked in game 1 and the lack of touches he got in game 2. You can only imagine what he's going to try and get against New England Patriots this Sunday. And Garrett Wilson, I mean, it just feels like if you get him the ball in space, he's going to score one way or another. So he's a stud. So, it's rough, man. It's rough out here. I know you don't have it in you to feel bad for Aaron Rodgers, but
I don't.
I appreciate you. I appreciate the
I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you and all my other Jets homies. I just can't do it for that. I want to bring the rest of the guys in for the next couple topics, man. A lot of NBA news is starting to heat up on the timeline. We all know that we're probably like about a month away from the start of the season, actually. And the thing that stands out is the Dame Lillard thing right now. It's the big thing heating up. And I will say this, I'm not a source guy. But anybody knows, when it comes to game stuff, I would say today that I was told that even though Woj disagrees with it, I just watched the Woj video. I'm not a breaking news guy, so I'm just telling you what I've been told, that there will be a trade imminent soon with Damian Lillard going to Miami, and that they're hoping that this might be done before media day, before training camp. So that's what I've been hearing. I've been right before. I've been wrong before, so don't quote me here. But, Chaz, what do you feel about, this Damian Lillard thing and really just like the start of this upcoming NBA season? I kind of feel like, to me at least, it doesn't feel like it's as much hype as usual.
I would say about the Damian Lillard situation, I think, whether it's right or wrong, it definitely seems like some strategic agent, tomfoolery happening right now when it's like, all right, do you really want this to drag out into the training camp where you got awkward practices and you got awkward, interviews and Dame Lillard not saying anything to you? Do you really want to do this the ugly way, the hard way, where one of the most beloved players in your entire franchise is sitting there completely pissed off that he's still there? Or do you want to get this deal done? So seems to me, I know you're not a source guy, but I know plenty of source guys, and I know plenty of agents. Then I know when they just pepper those things in to be like, hey, we're trying to get this done. They're hopeful to get this done. But at the end of the day, man, they're right. I don't think the Blazers want to deal with, any situation where they would have Dame Lillard looking like a mouth of tent at training camp. And the Miami Heat have been holding steady for a long time to, make this deal official. Now, for a while, there was a lot of free agents out there that I believe would have helped fill out the roster that the Miami Heat was going to hope to yield this season when you give up a lot of assets to get a player like Dame Lillard. But, Kelly Oubre just came off the board, like a bunch of other guys like Christian Wood, all these dudes that I just figured would be easy fits in Miami once you trade for Dame Lillard and sign them for, sign these guys on minimums or whatever. It would make the most sense, but they're all finding new homes. So I'm not necessarily sure, man. Like, I'm a Knicks fan, man. I was here when it was this time last year when I was here, and Donovan Mitchell's going to be a Knick in the next 48 hours, 72 hours, and then he wasn't, right? So I wouldn't necessarily pay so much attention to what the Heat and the Blazers are doing. I was paying attention to the other free agents and realizing you have the same problem at the beginning of training camp that you did at the end of the regular season. You don't have players or picks that the Portland Trail Blazers want. If they had that stuff, they would have made this trade a while ago because they drafted Scoot Henderson. They love Shaedon Sharpe. They love Anthony Simons. They want to start that rebuild as soon as they possibly can. But I think Dame Lillard, for all the good things he's done as far as being loyal to the franchise, kind of played himself when he went out and said, I want to be traded and want to go specifically
to Miami.
Miami, right? So, he kind of put himself in a situation which is unfortunate because he's been wildly loyal to that place, even though he probably shouldn't have. But it wouldn't surprise me if Dame Lillard was traded, but not to Miami. Like, I think there's going to be another team, just like the Cleveland Cavaliers last year, who's going to swoop in and shut NBA Twitter down for the next 48 hours. And we're going to have Miami Heat jokes, we're going to have Blazers jokes, we're going to have whatever team that lands Dame Lillard jokes that happens later, and then we'll see how it goes. But like you said, Scott, I've been wrong before, I've been right before. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. I think that's the number one thing about the NBA to me is like it's always the I guess like the trades and the signings will kind of get things up and going before the actual season starts, man. But I want to bring a Bang. I know you want. This is our resident WWE guy, right? JR Bang. You can check out.
I know Bang, man. Yeah. Come on, bro. Come on, we go back, man.
I had no idea. My fault. I was not aware.
Oh, you the one who hooked us up. We had the interview at Windy City Underground.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That was a minute ago.
It was a minute ago.
That's right. That is right.
Why y'all like? Why it seems like, especially you, Scott, y'all love when I talk about the Rock and COINTELPRO.
Because it's a real conversation that I didn't think about till you brought up on the podcast.
Now you gotta bring me up to speed. What is that? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
So let me bring y'all up to speed, man. So the Rock is COINTELPRO. All right, and I'll make this real quick and simple, right? And I'm not talking about Dwayne Johnson. I'm talking about Rocky Maivia, who turned to the Rock, and he's going to do all of this. So y'all remember when the Rock came into the WWF? Say F right now. Kaz, okay. You can't say F. I can say F. All right, you can say F. All right, cool. All right, so the Rocky Maivia comes in there. He comes in there with the lineage of his daddy and his granddaddy, got the little curly hair and shit, and he wins the Intercontinental Championship. But the folks end up not liking him. They're talking about Die Rocky Die and all of that. And Rock got to figure some shit out. All right? So what does The Rock do? The Rock goes to the Nation of Domination. Now, the key here is Nation of Domination, because when he got there, that was the Nation of Domination. Gets there, he starts getting in with the crew and shit. Then all of a sudden, him and Farouk start butting heads. Why? Why would him and Farouk start butting heads? Because he wants to be the leader, all right? So he becomes the leader. He removes Farouk out the group. And let's look what happens to the group right after he leaves. One becomes a pimp. One becomes a sex-crazed maniac. And one is all of a sudden from Istanbul, Turkey. He's from all of Europe. They even bring in a white guy. All right?
A guy rest in peace of that white guy.
Right, and rest in peace of that white guy. He was a great white guy. He was a cold white guy, but he's an all-time white guy, but he's a white guy nonetheless. All right? Now, with that being said, the group ends up splintering just like the Black Panthers. And what does The Rock do? He becomes the champion damn near right after the breakup. But how does he become the champion? He teams up with the corporate team. Ladies and gentlemen, The Rock was COINTELPRO. Nobody in the WWE want to talk about that shit. But I truly believe you can't tell me nothing different. All right? This was long-term storytelling. Long-term storytelling. Vince and them was like, hey, Black Panthers, y'all saw what happened. Only thing that never came out was who was Hoover. But we know who was a part of COINTELPRO. And that was Rocky Maivia, ladies and gentlemen. And he profited off of it, just like a number of black folks who infiltrated black organizations.
Bang, I know.
I'm about to say, you don't got you.
It was Pat Patterson.
You left something, King. Wait, this is why I wanted to bring this back up, because last weekend, of course, Dion bringing the hood to Boulder. Every week we see new niggas popping up. He loves Rock. And so what made me laugh about it, I saw a video on Twitter where, when Dion brought out his moms, he brought out The Rock to talk to the team before the game. And somebody was like, look at The Rock, his brain like it's freezing, he's trying to remember how to be black again. So that's why I was thinking like, oh, I got to hit Bang up. Has everything been clear? Is he no longer, what he used to be?
It is what it is. Look, it is what it is at this point. Look, we saw what happened in the 80s. All right, we saw what some of y'all might be old enough, some of y'all might not. But in the 80s, all them people, they start going on 60 Minutes and talking and everything, and some of them wrote books and prospering. All right, and The Rock. I said, I'm not talking about Dwayne Johnson. All right, I ain't talking about Dwayne Johnson. I'm talking about Rocky Maivia. Now, Dwayne Johnson,
the wrestler of The Rock.
I'm talking about the wrestler Rock. Now, Dwayne Johnson, all right, Dwayne seems to me one of the best people in the world.
Oh, right? Yeah, he's my hero. He's my hero.
Right, he like when he started talking about $7, I look at my wallet like, damn, I got 20.
What's stopping you?
What's stopping me? Dwayne Johnson is probably one of 5 people that would actually get me nervous if I met them. Is Dwayne, Ric Flair, and 3 other women. All right,
that I would not be on this show.
The Ric Flair always off quick. The Ric Flair always off quick. After you get a few beers with him, it's like, oh yeah, nah, this is it's just a nigga named Richard, bro.
Right, this nigga named Richard. Right, but when you meet him, like I lived in Atlanta for a time, and I worked at a Best Buy in Alpharetta. And all of the celebrities used to come in at Best Buy, and I was like, yeah, ain't nobody gonna make me nervous unless Ric Flair come up in, because I might lose my job, because I might go woo and all of those things. But I figure after a beer and a shot, we good. But like when you saw Deion Sanders, when y'all saw Deion Sanders when the man came, oh my God, it's The Rock, my God, it's like Jesus. He's the second coming.
Though, man, like The Rock and Deion Sanders both operate in a special level of black households. Yeah, these are 2 people that have been prominent in my household and many black households for the better part of the last 3 decades, right? As players off the field, on the field, they back at it again. If you take a Venn diagram of people on TV that I was influenced by, The Rock and Deion Sanders take up a large part of that pie chart. So when they see each other, you know what I mean? And the fact that the stars sort of aligned for him to come back and have that big return last week in Colorado, man, it just speaks to both of their star power as far as that concerned. We're talking about Dwayne Johnson. Now, The Rock, on the other hand, as far as being COINTELPRO, I mean, you put together some very compelling evidence, I must say. I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn, that's exactly what happened. I mean, but D'Lo, D'Lo had both the belts at one time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he was from Cass. He was from when
D'Lo popped off afterwards. You know?
You're right. But see, here's the thing. And I be going on random Peacock WWE network runs where I'm just watching Raw. And I was like, what? And one day it just popped in my head. When did he become from Istanbul, Turkey, fam? Like, when did he become from Portugal? Like, and I hit my man, and shouts out to my man Kemp from the port, first black champ. I hit him, was like, yo,
ain't he from?
When did he? Like, he's from the crib, slated from the crib. Like, when did this happen? He was like, he won the European Championship, and I said, goddamn.
That's wild,
and that's when I started going down the rabbit hole, and it was like, wait a minute, Godfather went from Papa Shango to Kama Mustafa to a pimp. Come on, y'all. Come on. Only thing he didn't do was sell heroin, but he was a pimp. He sold hoes. And then Mark Henry just started wanting pussy. Like, look, the man, and none of that happened until Farouk get jumped out the group. None of that happen. And even with Farouk, what happens with some of these leaders that get kicked out of these groups? They turn to drugs and start doing some crazy shit. Farouk turned to a coat. Cointel Pro, y'all. He turned to a coat.
Farouk, but here's the thing though, like afterwards, Farouk met a white dude. He was cool with it. They started a very profitable business, just beating people up. You know what I mean? He didn't really have to hurt nobody. A successful black business, right? Like, come on, man. Like
he learned that white people is just okay as everybody else. Watch Malcolm X. When he went to the pilgrimage, you watch Malcolm X, he was like, yo, it's white people out here praying too. He went back to America, was like, no, white people ain't all that bad. It's a bad one. White people ain't all that bad. I'm telling y'all. But I do got a wrestling question for you, Kaz.
Yeah, what's up?
And it's really mainly because all of the releases that's happened, you got the TKO group thing that's happened. So Vince McMahon, for the first time and forever, is not the sole owner for the of the corporation. Like, how is the mood with now Ari Emanuel, who we all know is Rom's brother? So Chicago is not necessarily
Ari Gold if you are a big
or Ari Gold
fan like myself. Yes.
Like, what's the mood in the WWE right now? Like, do people feel like this is really like a new start or whatever? Like, you know, how is it over there?
I mean, I got a lot of friends back there as far as, you know, being on talent or, you know, putting the show together and whatnot. So it would be unfair for me to really answer that question at this moment, right? Like, they just had a bunch of layoffs in the past 2 weeks. You know, obviously, no matter if you're affected or not affected by it, you can imagine what it's like to be somewhere and you're working with somebody and you don't see them every day anymore. So I'm sure it's a little tepid right now, but I could only assume, right? I'm in a privileged position where I could pull up and do some stuff for the network, do some stuff for NXT, do some stuff here and there. But, you know, just knowing people back there, I just feel like there is a whole lot of new opportunity with this new merger that was put forth. I feel like we're seeing a lot of talent acquisitions possibly happening. I feel like there's going to be a lot of just new coats of paint painted on, you know, what we see as WWE right now. Because, you know, despite all the stuff we just talked about, it feels like they're kind of having a banner year right now. I mean, this between, you know, the storyline with Roman Reigns having, you know, one of the longest championship reigns of all time, to Cody Rhodes becoming a megastar and Bianca Belair becoming a megastar. And, you know, you see all these records that they're breaking and the ratings doing as well as they've been. You could only assume that it's going to be more of an upward trajectory for the WWE specifically, you know, as far as entertainment is concerned, because we're going to feel it in the next few months when the writer's strike is happening and some of your favorite shows aren't on TV in the fall because, you know, there hasn't been anything that's been greenlit or produced. And I feel like outside of football and outside of sports, I feel like, you know, WWE and UFC are in a unique position to really corner the market as far as, you know, the entertainment dollar is concerned. So as far as, you know, how it is over there, you can feel like the energy that they're kind of gaining in the past several weeks is going to end up in some really big stuff, right? The Rock coming back, John Cena not just coming back for a one-off, but being involved in storylines once again. I mean, they're selling out these massive stadiums all over the world for these premium live events. And I think the best part about it is they're creating new stars, right? Like people like Dominic Mysterio, who wasn't really much of anybody 2 or 3 years ago, is now probably the biggest bad guy in the company. Judgment Day's doing their thing. Jey Uso, who, the entire bloodline was the headline and act at Wale Mania this year, and seeing just the growth that they've had from the night before WrestleMania weekend into now, when they're all sort of like stars on their own, it just kind of goes to show how poppin' WWE is and the growth that they're going to come. And it feels like that merge is only going to help accelerate that growth.
Now, we don't want to keep it too long. I know Dante, Damian, do y'all have any questions for Kaz?
Yeah, I do. Kaz, what's up, bro? I've been following you for a while, and like when I first got introduced to you, it was more so when you were doing hip hop journalism. What was the process of making that switch into WWE, and what were some of the highlights during your time working with them?
I mean, I broke in as an intern at the Source magazine when I was still in college, and I ended up being a online editor, music editor there for about 4 or 5 years. Did some stuff with the Hip Hop Wired, and then created Stashed with Steve Stout over at Translation, and ran that for about 4 to 5 years. Did some stuff with Bleacher Report, Uninterrupted. But I always felt like when I was doing hip hop journalism, I always did it from a place of genuine love for the artists and the music that's being made. And just being completely honest, man, it feels like, and I think the industry kind of spoke for us, music journalism is a young man's game, point blank, period, right? Like, you're not going to be able to, I couldn't see myself going to SOBs every night trying to find the next MC if I wasn't really listening to their music like that to begin with, right? Like, the reason why I even got on, because most of these people that I wanted to cover were people I was truly fans of, and people I really enjoyed the music, the Wale's, the Drakes, the Coles, the Wizzes, Big Sean's, Kendricks, all those guys. Those are dudes that were all coming up during the blog era, and people that I were legitimately fans of who have now become megastars to this day. I would say, like, the transition into sports, though, was kind of something I've always wanted to do, though, because even while I was at the Source magazine and doing all the hip-hop journalism stuff, I was always their go-to guy for anything sports-related. So if we had Carmelo Anthony or Dwayne Wade or, like, any LeBron, anybody that was coming through, I would be the first guy to kind of, do the story or be tapped to do the feature or the cover or anything like that. So, I'm a journalism major, right? And as much as I loved doing music journalism, sports journalism was always super near and dear to my heart, especially with the NBA. The way the WWE thing kind of happened was just sort of happenstance, though, right? Like, it was, I was literally in between Uninterrupted. I was hosting the show for Uninterrupted when they had to deal with Spotify, and I was just like, I saw that WWE was hiring like a digital content creator, right? So I'm thinking I'm gonna go there and just do what I did at like Bleacher Report or Source or Hip Hop Wire, just do wrestling content for WWE. Luckily, their recruiter was like, we Googled you and we found, like, I had a wrestling podcast. I did all this work with like guys like folks from the New Day, and we was doing Wale Mania already. So they was just like, yeah, we could hire you for this digital content thing, but is there anything in WWE that you would like want to do? That you flat out asked me that. I was like, 2 things. I mean, I'd love to be like an on-air talent, or I'd love to help create the show or help write it, whatever. And they were like, great, come into Stanford. We're going to interview you. And then, we'll see how it goes. The first interview I had was with on TV. He was Rajan Singh. He was the Great Khali's manager, but he was also the head writer of Monday Night Raw. And it was kind of threw me for a loop because, he was like his translator. And then when he comes up to me, he talks like a dude from California. I'm like, oh, shit. So, but he was hella cool, man. And, he kind of put me on game. And then, like, my second interview was with the Road Dogg, Jesse James. And then I'm sitting there just talking to him while he's interviewing me for this writing position. I'm just like, bro, I got the tension literally because of you. Like, as in the 5th grade, like, I was, oh, you didn't know, like, I knew the whole deal, like, every time he came on. So that was just an incredible experience because, you know, it wasn't something I was looking for, but because they knew I had a passion for the industry already, and I already had some media, you know, experience. And I've worked with, you know, I had just finished doing No Script with Marshawn Lynch for Bleacher Report and Facebook Watch. So I was working and doing TV stuff, and, you know, I did some stuff with MTV2 and Charlemagne and, you know, all his other shows as well. So I wanted to get back into doing more TV production, and WWE is way different than doing anything other for TV because you're basically living like a wrestler, right? Like you're traveling with them, you're in the meetings all day long, you're doing rehearsals with them, you're on headset. Like it is one of the most high pressure, underrated jobs in entertainment, being a WWE writer, because it's an industry where you got to pretend that it's really happening, but it's really a team of people who his sole job is to get you over and get that chemistry popping on camera. But it's almost like a magic trick. Like they don't exist. Like they live in the shadows type shit. But it's such a hard job to do because you're not just writing scripts. Like you're basically like Nick Saban out there, right? Like when you throw the headset on and, you know, you're sitting at gorilla position and Vince McMahon and Triple H are to your right and, you know, Michael Cole's to your left, and, you know, you got their team of producers who are just like wrestling legends. So I'm just sitting here with like Arn Anderson and Billy Kidman and Dean Malenko and like dudes I grew up watching that are producing these matches. So like going in there as a TV, you know, working in TV is one thing, but going there working in TV and being a fan of this stuff kind of gave me a whole different level of appreciation for what they did every single week. So it was something that really was I'll always say one of the most enjoyable life learning experiences of my life, just being on the road with the WWE and, you know, leaving a good impact on them, where I still work with them to this day as an on-air talent for a lot of their stuff. But it's incredible. I know that I'm very fortunate that I get to do a lot of stuff that people would do for free. But I always say to anybody who ever wants kind of following that path that, you know, a lot of times your dream jobs isn't something that's going to be in a LinkedIn link or on the back of a whatever on the listing. People do still job listings, whatever that shit in the newspaper. It ain't gonna be there. Like especially in the 2020s, you got to create that thing. And a lot of times, as you're creating it, opportunities are gonna come to your lap where it's like, well, I didn't think I'd be able to do this, but hell yeah, why not? So it's been an incredible journey. It's been an incredible transition, and I love being able to look back at that and still implement the lessons I learned during that time to things I do right now.
Damian, you got something for Cass before we get up out of here?
No, I don't got shit. Like I just want to say, like,
I don't know why
that's really dope.
I don't even know why I asked it.
I just want to say that's a really dope, like, career journey, like to get to where you are. I think that's unique because I never heard of no one that's actually like involved in WWE like as deep as that. So that's really dope, and I just want to say keep doing your thing, man. I'm proud.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. It's gonna be I mean, right now, obviously, you can catch me on PointsBet. Download the app, Fanatics Experience. White Diddy now, Michael Rubin. So you know things have been. Have you
been invited to the white party? Have you been invited to the white party yet?
So peep game, right? Like, the white party like invites. I mean, the white party like video drops literally the day before. You know, the deal is done, right? Like, so he puts up, I think, 225 million to buy PointsBet. And, you know, the day after, you see all this drone footage that looks like, you know what I mean, the Oscars, but for sports or whatever. But it's, I mean, man, it's really dope, bro. Like, he isn't just, you know, I haven't got to meet him. I haven't got to meet Ruben yet, but, you know, we've worked in similar circles. And I'm just honored to, you know, hopefully be a part of what is growing in the Fanatics empire.
Definitely. As
far as, you know, everything that's going on there. So please watch my show Counted on PointsBet Fanatics Experience. You catch me at MSG Networks this season doing all stuff Knicks with the team over there. You catch me on WWE Ultimate on Peacock before and after every WWE Premium Live event. You catch me on WWE This Is Awesome. You catch me on the Masked Man Show, The Ring of Wrestling on Spotify. And Bill Simmons is helipad over there. And Say Less with Kaz, Loki, and Rosie coming back this October, filming episodes now. Staying busy, staying working. And, I appreciate everything you guys are building over here too, man. Like Scott,
you, bro.
JR, I've followed y'all for a minute. You know what I mean? I love seeing the growth. I love seeing y'all up in the mix, really breaking big NFL news. Like, and I remember we was, back in Chicago covering like LEP Bogus Boys like years ago. You know what I mean? Like long time ago. So Bibby and them. So it's great to see the growth from from you guys, and much success. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey man, thank you for joining us, G. Much success to everything you were doing, man. We definitely got to get you back on us, man. We appreciate you, bro.
All right, y'all take it easy, man. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Now we are going to get into the thing that everybody wants to hear about. That is the local hour of this show, which is, I feel like a lot of our listeners, watchers are Chicagoans, Chicago sports fans, and it was a crazy week. And by the way, before I get to that, I was laughing because Damian said, I didn't know anybody is involved. I'm like, nigga, you just called me Hollywood yesterday because I sent you a tweet to my text yesterday. Anyway, I digress. But we can go to the full layout, by the way, Dante. I'm not gonna do a sound though, but I'm gonna give y'all a play-by-play of what happened of my day at Halas Hall on Wednesday. Then of course we'll get y'all opinions on it because I think y'all been hearing me talk a lot. But by the way, in the national hour, Courtney will be joining us. So I took the long drive up to Lake Forest on Wednesday, which is usually about an hour and a half in the morning. So I usually leave out the crib around 8:30, get there around 10 sometimes. So it was calm, regular day, wasn't no police presence, nothing. I pull up to the parking lot blasting that No Way Out album because I've been playing a lot of Puff lately because the Love album is amazing, by the way. I have not stopped listening to that album.
Real R&B.
Real R&B, real rhythm and blues.
Told y'all.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
Hey,
Insider Bang told us months ago. Almost a year ago, honestly. We won't be real about it. It was almost a year ago. So smooth day going in there, and like I told Kaz earlier, like the thing that kind of my antennas went off is when we talked to Justin first. We usually talk to Coach. He comes up there, talk to us like we the feds. Then Justin comes up and does the same thing. So once Justin said the coaching thing, I looked around like, oh, this is really happening. And he just kept going and kept going and kept going. So after that, Flus came up and we brought the comments up to him like media members should. And he had like a shocked look on his face, which is funny because Flukes doesn't really show what he's feeling, but you can see it caught him off guard and he knew nothing about what Justin said. And he played it off as well as he could play it off. But then we started getting rumors. People started texting me what's going on with Alan Williams. I knew something was fishy when we word by word asked Flukes, is Alan Williams still the defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears? And he basically pled the fifth like Dave Chappelle on that Tron skit. And I was like, oh, something's up. And then I tweeted after the press conference, don't quote me, but I think he's fired. So I wasn't too far off on my prediction of what happened. And then you get all these other rumors, FBI broke into Halas, FBI broke into Alan Williams' house. And shout out my man Herb Howell. Herb was on here a couple weeks ago. Herb's desk is right next to mine. I was like, you know what they saying on Twitter? They telling it was a raid, dog. I ain't seen no FBI, and we both just started dying laughing. So all this is going on, and this is when the things got weirder. Practice started late. Practice started about 10-15 minutes late. They usually come get us. We go to practice. We watch the part of practice that we can watch, and then we go and we wait for practice to end so we can go to the locker room. Practice started late. Not only did practice start late, nobody came to get us. So that was another antenna that went off. So after practice is over, we go to the locker room. First thing we go in there, they're like, yo, Justin wants to speak to y'all. And Justin did that video, which I recorded. I'm gonna give myself some credit. Very good timing by me, by the way. I had my phone out. Some shout out. I had a couple people DM me say they saw me on ESPN this week. I'm like, thank you, but why didn't you record it? I could have posted that up, but I appreciate you letting me know. Shout out to NBC Sportsnet Chicago for using my video and actually giving me credit on football night in Chicago. So shout out to them. Shout out to everybody over there. But there's a couple things I want to say about this Justin second speaking to us. Number one, we did not misquote him. Now, I know a lot of people, 79 Halas fans, call me and Joe members of the establishment that we joined the corporation.
Hey, congratulations.
I just
Welcome.
We did not misquote him, all right? And then he said, I know y'all doing stuff with clicks. Yes, we are. We are doing stuff with clicks because that's where the money comes in. So, yes, you making money your way, we make our money another way. So that was number one. Number two, this is clearly a call from upstairs. I don't think it was Ryan Poles. Ryan Poles wasn't even there on Wednesday. It was his birthday, which made things 1,000,000 times funnier because it was kind of like that this is fine gift where he out celebrating his birthday and all this is going on in his job. I think Big Kev Warren put the call down. Like Bang has been saying he needs to do for weeks. And that's what I think happened because Justin was very looked like he had a conversation with somebody. And so my whole take on it, and then you have that, and then we know then Alan Williams actually resigns. When I'm on my way home, I had to literally turn my phone off because wouldn't nobody keep. What happened? Is it this? I'm not gonna tell you all the things that people thought it was. This irresponsible. This is some session I would, but
some of them shits was wild.
It was very, very wild stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very wild allegations. And I will say this: while I personally do not buy that it's health related, I do not buy that whatsoever. Because I feel like if it was, there wouldn't have been such of the defense players sounding like they were a little angry, like they're caught off guard. The coaching staff, defensive coaching staff is completely caught off guard. And this is what stood out to me, that if it was health, it would have been a little different. He put out a press release. It was very glowing, gave the Bears a lot of love, said he plans to coach again. The Bears put out one sentence.
This nigga don't work here.
Defensive coordinator Alan Williams. Nothing about we hope he gets better. We hope whatever family situation he's going through gets taken care of. So to me, it's something that is not health, but it's not illegal. If it was anything illegal, we'd have heard. If it was an FBI raid, there's no way we'd be on day 3 and we heard nothing about it. Ain't no FBI raid going on the low like that. Chicago police would have made a statement if it was police something. So it's nothing to that effect. I don't know what it was. And then you have today, people that stole $100,000 worth of stuff from Soldier Field. The text message that Aaron Rodgers sent Jordan Love. It's just been a crazy day in like the reality show world that is Chicago Bears. And to make all this worse, they have to play Patrick Mahomes in like 72 hours. It's gonna get worse. So that was my personal account of being there. It was wild. The most wild day I've had covering a sports team. Only thing that was close to that, really not even close to that, but even one that kind of reminded me of that was actually being with Kyrie Irving when Kevin Durant got traded. Shout out my man Thomas. Shout out HNB Media. Thomas immediately was like, "So what you think about KD getting traded?" And Kyrie like, "Nigga, can we talk about the game?" So
damn, nigga.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
So those like the two wildest days I've had in sports media, man. But what's y'all thoughts on everything that's been going on?
My thoughts was glad it ain't the Cowboys, because usually we be first on the docket every
this
day.
Cowboy stuff
for
ESPN.
Real. So when y'all don't be worried about us, I be loving it. Like, but this shit that happened the past week for y'all it was just every day there was something. Like, you knew stuff was getting bad when, like, at the start of the season, they it was already talking about Justin. The hype was coming into the season about y'all. First game got smoked by the Packers, so it's like, nigga, what the fuck is this? And then last week, Baker looking like Jesus on y'all. Then I see all these videos where it just shows bad plays. And I follow all y'all niggas for years. I've never seen this much Bears content from non-Bears people.
Yeah.
Every single day. Like, I've never seen that. So that's how I know, like, this shit was going bad. And then, like, this week was just, that shit was crazy. Like, niggas saying Peanut Tillman doing barrel rolls through the door.
Yeah, that was the funniest one. That was like the funniest one. That Peanut Tillman.
Like, the rumors just start going crazy. And it's like, what the fuck? So,
bro, they said Peanut Tillman knocked down the George Halas statue. They said Peanut Tillman knocked down the George Halas statue, stormed in the reception like it was the Benny Siegel field in the Ed video. There was so many funny things, man.
That nigga had the sniper like Tupac in the Natural Born Killers video.
But I mean, the shit just sad. Like you said, it's going from bad to worse, and it seems like on a weekly basis we getting more and more into the terrible stories about what the Bears are doing up there at Halas. So I mean, this reeks of, to me. We all remember when Dwight Howard and Stan Van Gundy had their little tiff in the media.
Yep.
And they did all that fake bullshit, and then Stan got fired like a couple of days later. Like, I really feel like the Bears are gonna get smoked on Sunday, and somebody's getting fired. Like, that's where we headed. Because at this point, it is a joke, like you said, for Poles to have to come back off his birthday to make a statement to the media, and you got everybody, wondering and putting all this BS out. And this is kind of one of those moments where, like, the media and media adjacent get confused, because you got a lot of people who say shit, and trust me, they're sitting at home watching the press conference on YouTube like you. They're not at Halas. They're not in the building.
Oh, yeah. They're able,
later. Yeah, they're able to shape it to make it seem like they're actually on the beat, but they're not. They're legit just at home watching shit, making assumptions. And so a lot of stuff get mixed up through that. But one thing we've said, like with the best teams and the teams that win championships, shit like this don't happen. So this is another example of why the Bears are where they are. This is the type of franchise they are. They've taken a lot of heat throughout the media. And I think the national media if anything, the national media blew it out of proportion more than the local media. The local media said exactly what it was, exactly what he was saying, and even gave him leeway to add that nuance in there. But the local media, like you said, most of these people don't watch the Bears. They don't watch every snap, and they just sit there and just come up with these storylines. This is what it's all about. So, but as far as what's going on in Halas, this shit is a joke, bro. So, like I said, I think on Sunday, somebody getting smoked and somebody losing their job. Like,
see, at one point, I think I texted Scott that I think the Bears are gonna win just because of all the shit that's been going on this week. That just out the blue, them niggas gonna just steal a win from the Chiefs. But these niggas can't even work out. The shit got stolen, so niggas gonna be tired, and it might get ugly. I thought about putting some money on them, but
no, don't do that.
Nah,
I'm not gonna let you do that. Don't even do that. Bang, what you feeling, bro? Here it is. Is your mic on, brother? I don't think your mic.
Yo, my mic. I muted my mic because I was sending in the email, but I feel nothing. This is the worst. Like how what's my man name on The Office? He's like, this is the worst. Yeah, that's how I feel. This is the worst. This is something that's unprecedented for this team to have so much stuff go on in a week. It's just the third week of the season. Justin, the defensive coordinator, Braxton Jones being on IR, Kyler Gordon, even a week ago, Kyler Gordon being put on IR, losing to Tampa Bay the way that they lost to Tampa Bay, being lethargic is the best way of putting it, going up against Green Bay. Cutting Peterman because you're thinking you're about to get somebody off of the Panthers practice squad, only to not happen. So it's like, okay, let me go ahead and get Peterman back. That's what I heard. That's what happened with the Peterman thing. DJ Moore. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I think it was.
I saw that video. I played the video 10 times. I did not hear him say what.
He said it.
He said it.
Oh, okay. He said it. Yeah, he said it. Oh, they captioned it. This was on the Buccaneers and the NFL's IG page. It was the collab, IG collab. And that's why I first saw it. And I was like, ooh, okay. And then you also have Brisker liking that tweet from Stephen A. Smith.
Hey, Ben, what did DJ Moore say? I didn't see that.
I think it was Levante David. But he was saying how he missed basically tackling him because he's on Carolina, so they play twice a year. And then he said that he's like, man, they ain't even using you right. And he said, tell me about it. So we already know what that means right there. That's the second game, fam. Like that is the second game. Now, mind you, you don't know when somebody mic'd up, and sometimes you just be saying shit just to say shit.
Yeah.
But it's week 2, and we already came off of the shit where he had 2 balls thrown to him, caught, take him off the field. And then, he's getting the ball now, But you know, Justin having issues getting him the ball, whatever we want to say about why those issues are. Patting the ball too much, holding on to the ball, all of that. But even those smaller things now become bigger things. Because in a regular time, we don't give a fuck that crackhead stole some damn lawnmowers out of Soldier Field. Do we? In the grand scheme of things,
I didn't even retweet it on $79. I just did not care.
Yeah.
Like,
do we give a shit that somebody stole some lawnmowers and some steel out of Soldier Field? No. Crackheads came up on a scheme and it worked. But when you have a week that the Bears have had, this is a big deal because your security allowed crackheads to steal some lawnmowers and some steel. That's how bad it is. That this right here could be even a story locally. Locally, we wouldn't have give a fuck about this shit. But look how we started off the week. That's how bad it's been. I had Scott on some dude yesterday, and I'll say it here. This is the worst week I've ever seen as a fan of the Bears. As long as I can remember.
Ever? There's a lot of bad weeks to choose from.
Something happens damn near every day.
Something embarrassing, right?
Yeah,
I'm embarrassed. Then it happen every day.
I asked a couple Bears media members who've been covering the team for like a decade longer, and I forgot who said it. I don't know if it was Dan Wiederer or somebody else. It was like the only thing that tops this is Tank Johnson bringing guns. Like,
but see, here's the thing: Tank Johnson brought the guns on a weekend.
Yeah,
if I can remember correctly, at Ice Bar. That was, come on, man. He brought some guns to a club where niggas at. Ooh, like when we was younger, it's like, what the fuck is he doing? Nigga, I'm 41 now. I understand
it's
why he brought guns
than
to the Ice Bar.
Sam Hurd week.
Yes, because it was just Sam Hurd. Fam, it was literally something. It was like 5-6 things just on one day. Just on one day. And 3 of them shits we ain't even talk about. One of them was Braxton Jones, and that shit's probably more important than anything because who the fuck gonna be the left tackle? Matter of fact, Scott, we don't even know, like, all that shit happened. We don't even know who's starting that left tackle for the Bears.
But this thing, this is
Scott, who's starting that left tackle for the Bears?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no idea.
One of the most important positions on the field. We don't even know who's starting in this shit, but we know some crackheads broke into Soldier Field.
Yeah. It's this is my thing. Like the thing to me, and with the Braxton Jones thing, he's been huffing it out. There's been a lot of penalties, so I don't feel like that's gonna be that big of a thing to overcome. Because he's been huff as it is. And so to me, the thing that I've been looking at more than anything is just like, when is it gonna stop? You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like with this, like I came on some dude yesterday and I was just saying how bad it's been for Chicago sports. You know what I'm saying? Like Chaz was naming all the stuff that's going on with New York sports. What is going right for Chicago sports? Even if you're a Cub fan, these niggas are free falling. They are tied. They are a half game from being out of the playoff race after the season they had. The White Sox, World Series ambitions, playoff ambitions, whatever you want to call it. Before Dante give me that look, playoff aspirations. Now they're like 40 games under 500. Have you seen them get into the Bulls schedule? They will be done by Christmas. There's nothing really to look forward to, and you got all this other stuff. Like you said, there's been so many national media talking about this situation who don't really know what they're talking about. But there's been a lot of truth in it too. Stephen A. Smith flat out coming out, oh, the Bears are trash. At least I don't know why y'all looking at me. They trash. You know, Dan Orlovsky saying what he said about Justin Fields. Greeny, passionate rant on Justin Fields. Ocho Cinco, Shannon. Everybody's talking about this team. So you know that front office, that ownership at Halas Hall, if we're seeing this, they're seeing this. And then Ryan Poles came out with that press conference yesterday and said nothing. And it was peak Bears for them to not stream the press conference. That's some Chicago Bulls, Chicago White Sox type stuff. Like when you're not even showing the press conference to the fans. He said nothing. And I think Brian Poles is a good guy. I said when he got hired, let's not do the same thing we did with Ryan Pace, and y'all be crowning these GMs too early. And what did Bears fans do? They did the opposite of what I was saying. King Poles this, King Poles that. When he messed up the Larry Ogunjobi signing, I said, this is not the way you want to start your GM tenure. Bears fans call me anything but a child of God when that happened. Now look at what's going on. So it's just like it's mess from all angles. Now I want to talk about the actual Justin comments, because we can talk about everything else that's been going on, but the Justin situation is a real situation going on here. From what he said, my personal opinion on it, I don't think that he was wrong in what he said. And I honestly don't even think he went about it the wrong way, but I do understand the criticism of why people think that he might not have said it. I also think it was a lesson for Justin for thinking that we his friends. We not your friends. What you say, we gonna report. And so I don't know why he thought it was going to be any different. And he's a young player. He's not even 25 yet. You know, he's third in the league. He's in the biggest market ever. Like he's from Georgia, played Ohio State. Ohio State is a big college market, but this is Chicago. There's only one sports market that's bigger than Chicago, and that is New York City. This is the heat that comes with being the alleged franchise quarterback of this team on a franchise who's never had a quarterback. When Jake Cutler is the best quarterback in the modern era, I don't hear about Sid Luckman. If you put a picture of Sid Luckman in front of me, I'm not gonna know who this dude is. And I can name the entire 1985 defensive line right now. I know everything about the Bears, but if you show me a picture of Sid Luckman, I don't know who Buddy is. Jake Cutler is the best quarterback in franchise history, and that tells you everything you know about this team. So to me, Justin got a lesson, and I liked what Justin said, but at the end of the day, that ain't got nothing to do with actual playing on the field. He can say all the cool stuff he want, and I think it's a mixture. I think Getsy and Flus aren't the best coaches, and that's actually being nice because they're going on a 13-game losing streak. But Justin got to get the ball out better. Justin got a lot of stuff better than what he's been doing. So I think it's a 50-50 deal. What do y'all specifically think about Justin's comments and how you think that can translate on the field to whether Sunday and really for the rest of the season?
I'll start this off by saying, let me start this off because it's just going to be real quick. I don't give a fuck. Because at the end, it took me a week to get to this point. Because at the end of the day, he right. Yeah, it's some shit that you don't want to say, you know, but he confirmed what everybody knew, that and we're not even in the rooms, and we could see that dude's being overcoached, right? And we see what Getsy is doing. So should he have said it? Nah. But I will be the glass half full guy. Yeah, we gonna get our ass whooped against the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think the Denver game is where we see what this team is made of. That's where we're gonna see it. Because the thing about it is that it's sink or swim for everybody. So I don't think he should have let it out. I think it was just a slip. I don't think he meant to shit on anybody. And unless Scott tells me differently, I don't think the relationship between Justin and the coaches on the team are bad at all.
I don't think that's the case.
Right. I think he just tweaked and saying and didn't say how exactly he wanted to say it. Because I don't really believe he went up in there to shit on them coaches. Yeah. But at the same time, it should be a wake-up call to them coaches to say, look, our quarterback needs help. And that's what Nagy didn't do. And that's what we've had other coaches for the Bears didn't do. And that's not really necessarily help out their quarterback. This is the same team that, if you old enough to remember, had the Jim Harbaugh, Mike Tomczak controversy. This is the same team, if you can remember. Right. This is the same team, if you can remember, was like, fuck it, we gonna start Doug Flutie in the playoffs. This is the same team that thought they was going back-to-back, but the Green Bay Packers fucked up their quarterback and shit, and we was fucked in the playoffs. Like, so this is nothing new to this team. I think it should be a wake-up call to the coaches, but to me it still revolves around Kevin Warren and how he has to show the public that this is his organization now.
Yeah, I'll be quick because I'm not as invested in the Bears as y'all. So what I saw was just like Justin Fields, it was a learning lesson. I think he was trying to give like good answers, but he just talked too damn much. And the more he was talking, he was just saying stuff that he don't need to be saying. I think that's why, like, when he came back for the second one, he said that, you know, I was just trying to give, you know, the reporters good answers, and I shouldn't have said what I said, stuff like that. So I think he just learned, like you said, Scott, like, you don't have to be buddy with the media, or you don't have to give them all these good answers. You could just keep it short, you know, just, you know, we're working every day, blah, blah, blah. If you got to give the basic cliche answers to not throw your coach under the bus and start this firestorm that you started this day, because like you said, even though he didn't mean what he said, he thinks it, because if he wasn't thinking it, it wouldn't have came out. I do believe he's getting overcoached, and I do believe he's overthinking it when he's on the field. I think the coaching staff is trying to put a round peg in a square box with this play calling, and I just don't understand how teams can have a Ferrari. I know y'all said all this stuff throughout the week, but you got a dude that's more unique than any quarterback in this franchise's history. Yeah. But you want him to play like all these old ass quarterbacks of the past with that y'all weren't successful with. It's time to make a change, and I think the coaching staff and everybody is just too stubborn to admit that. But that's all I got regarding y'all steam.
Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. I mean, Justin didn't say anything wrong, and I appreciate him trying to give an honest answer, but I don't like when you come back and try to walk it back. Like, it is what it is, you know. I understand it's a business and you are the face of the franchise, so I know why he did it. And like you said, he probably did get nudged to, hey, bro, go clear that up. You see what they saying. But at the end of the day, I'm with JR. It's like I just don't give a fuck no more. Like, either we good or we bad. Like, it's too much. We don't have time for all the extra shit. And I think, you know, as far as Brisker and him liking the tweet, he said he did it for motivation, and I could see that. But at the same time, Stephen A. wasn't wrong. Like, everything we've seen with this franchise has been ineptitude. It's been, you know, just pure chaos most of the time. And, you know, as much as we talk about the Bears, I say this all the time, so I'm sick and tired of talking about 1985. Like, no disrespect to anybody y'all know, and you know, I know we got some people we cool and affiliated with who have connections to 85, but like, I'm sick of, like, when I tell people down here, like, yo, fuck the 85 Bears. Like, please don't talk to me about that. Like, it's time to go get past that. But you know, this franchise is still stuck in its ways and stuck in its own way in a lot of ways. So this was just another example of that. So hopefully with Justin, like I said, you know, hopefully he does, you know, go out there and play his way and play free and play loose like he claims. But I mean, enough is enough. I'm tired of talking about it. I want to see something. Like, I want to see a successful football team. I haven't seen enough of this shit in my lifetime.
Hey, I'll say this. If them niggas go 14 points on Sunday, that's a success.
14? 14.
Yeah.
That would be their lowest scoring total of the season. 14?
Nigga, I got them losing 50. Look, I got them losing 51-3, my G, and I'm dead serious. It was not a joke.
3? Okay,
yes.
that's
fam.
3?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question again, Scott. Who's the left tackle?
I don't know. I don't
Larry
know. It's probably going to be Larry Bourne. Either it's going to be Larry Bourne or they're going to move Darnell Wright to left tackle.
Tevin gone. We don't know who's going to be the left tackle. We got a rookie at right tackle. Chris Jones hungry.
I mean, look,
Chris Jones 4 sacks.
That I can believe. 100% I can believe that. 100%. That's not.
So how the fuck? So how you surprised and not say 14?
I'm not surprised at 55 or what the Chiefs have put up offensively. They're gonna score more than 14 points. They did not score 14 points. To be fair, the Green Bay Packers defense is a lot better than the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and they put up more points than they did 14.
Bet your bottom.
So if I don't financially have the terms right now to do that, but if I did, I would. So I will say this: we're about 10 minutes away from the national hour. Courtney will be joining us. We'll get over non-Bear stuff. We'll talk about the actual week 3 and everything going on with that in about 10 minutes. But I want to get into the actual game. So I'm gonna start off with this. I think they'll score more than 14 points. This is what I consider a good game for the Bears. If they can keep this, now I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I think they're gonna get wiped off the map. And not only are we gonna get wiped, it's gonna be embarrassing. I think we're gonna have Matt Nagy's gonna use some of the play calls that didn't work with us, and they're gonna work on the Bears.
This is a Matt Nagy game. Oh, nigga, we lose a 41-3.
Nagy game.
51-3.
It's going to be. I know, Damian. I know you got to bounce. So, before you can go ahead to tell everybody, what's going on with you. Where they can follow you and things of that nature.
Y'all go follow the newly sanitized Velvet Jones account.
Newly sanitized.
That's at I_Velvet Jones. Gonna be a lot of WNBA talk, so y'all just deal with it. And yeah, just hit me up. I'm glad to be on. I'll try to get on more often when I get a chance.
Definitely, bro. Always good to have you on, my G.
All right, bro. Y'all take care. All right.
Yes, sir. So, like I was saying on this, this is the Matt Nagy game. Matt Nagy's the offensive coordinator. And I don't know if y'all saw Matt Nagy's comments the other day. Like, he was talking like with absolutely no self-awareness about how to help develop a young quarterback. And I was like, I did the Doug Heffernan mixed with the George Costanza. Where do you get the ego? So, but the Bears have so many other things to be upset about that really wasn't a thing to me. But I think that Matt Nagy is going to be petty. I think Matt Nagy is going to use a lot of players to work with the Bears, but it's going to work with the Chiefs because he has better personnel with him. I think he's going to do the little stupid dink pass that he does to the tight end, which he likes to use a lot. I think you're going to see Pat throw to offensive linemen. I think you're going to see all with the Santa sleigh. What's all the crappy Matt Nagy players we saw for them 3 years he was here, however long he was here. You're going to see that. You're going to get that in full effect. But this is, to me, will be a win. If they can somehow keep this game under 14 points, that's a win. Now, I am not saying that is going to happen. I'm going to give my final score in a minute. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But if they can keep it under 14 points, that is a win. If Justin can go out there and actually play well, then that's a win too. I think that there's plays to be made on the secondary. Now, we still have questions about the offensive line. I understand Chris Jones is hungry. I get that. And I really feel like the Chiefs are going to come out here and try to make a statement. Because you look in the first 2 weeks, they haven't looked like the Kansas City Chiefs Bowl. Only 20 points in that first game against Detroit. Only 17 last week against Jacksonville, even though they did have Travis Kelce back. So I think they're going to try to make a statement. But if the offense can show anything, if Luke Getsy can keep it simple, not run a screenplay back-to-back in your own end zone, if he can do stuff like that, if Justin can get the ball out quicker. I never thought I'd say this. Justin Fields needs to go watching Brock Purdy tape. Did you see how he was flinging that ball quick last night? Quick. Trusting his receivers, quick. That's what we need to see from Justin Fields. Because to me, that's the biggest problem more than anything. I feel like he's holding on to the ball, and that's not whatever calls that Luke Getsy's calling. That's on him. That's why I think it's a 50-50 deal. It's on Justin just as much as it is on Getsy. I want to see him run some more. I want to see Roschon Johnson. It blows my mind that last year this was the number 1 rushing team in football, and now you're not rushing the ball at all. Like, you're not having Justin run. You're not letting Khalil Herbert and Roschon run. Roschon had, a 30-yard gain last week, and he just never touched the football ever again for the rest of the game. You have to do that. You have to stop being in these 3rd and 8s, these 3rd and longs. You got to stop doing that. Stop putting yourself in that position, because when you get down to Arrowhead, it gets loud. Allegedly, from what I heard. I'll know more on Sunday, but it gets loud. So they need to be able to go out there, set the tempo, and just do whatever they want to do. Nobody expects them to win. They're like 3 touchdown underdogs right now. Just let it hang. Do what you got to do. And if they can score some points and keep it under 14, and then you go into that Denver game against a team that's probably going to be on 3 as well, then you can give yourself some type of momentum. Now, I'm going to repeat this again. I do not think this will happen. I don't think this will happen at all. But I think that's the best way to somewhat feel any type of good feelings after Sunday.
The Bears are getting smoked on Sunday. The idea of good feelings or any of that, like it all sounds good in theory, but no, I think the rubber meets the road on Sunday. I think you do have I think Justin's gonna play better. I think part of that is gonna be a result of him more so doing his own thing as far as he's leaving the pocket. Like we've said for weeks, he's not gonna go just full Willie Beeman and start calling his own plays. Like as much as that's what the calls from the crowd have been, that's not gonna happen. We know that. So he's still gonna have to adhere to that playbook and some of those plays. Another thing we've seen that's been consistent throughout the week is, like we said, it's some of his own Justin as well, but people have called out the playbook and how trash the plays are, and you got receivers running to the same spaces. And Kurt Warner was the latest one to release a video. It was saying, he had a guy open, but when you got people inhibited in the same space, sometimes that makes it harder on a quarterback. So that's not going to change over a week. Like, the playbook is still the playbook. So, like, as much as we want to see them be better, do better, as far as I'm concerned, the best way for them to come out of Kansas City with any type of positive mentality, any type of positive attitude, something good to take from it, is if you don't get that 51-3 score that Bang been talking about. Like, if you go down there and just get steamrolled, then yeah, it's ugly.
The Bears. The Buccaneers were 7 for 11 on third downs last week.
Yeah.
7 for 11. That's bad. We could talk all we want to about Justin and stuff, but the defense allowed 7 third downs out of 11 tries. And they was just as terrible against Green Bay. I'd be shocked if Kansas City punt.
That's real. That's real.
That's funny because it's actually highly possible.
It's gonna be like that Philly game a couple years ago with Buddy from
you talking about 2013
when we got smoked. So Mel Tucker was the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, when they had a chance to clinch the division and when they got smoked, and then the next week was 4th and 8, and they lost to Green Bay.
No, not that year. I'm talking about the year.
Oh, you're talking about 2017.
Yeah, when we were just trash.
They was doing the
when they get the electric slide.
Yeah, it's gonna get ugly.
The fact that I knew of another Philly beatdown tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, because Merck, we had a Christmas thing at Complex, and Merck was looking at me crazy all that night because he had the game on, and I was like, "What the fuck, man?" I was real cussing. I was very upset because the Bears was getting their ass shellacked, as they would say. But yeah, third downs is going to be the key. They have not been able to bring Jordan Love or Baker Mayfield to the sidelines on third down. What make us think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be any different? It's Patrick fucking Mahomes. And that's why I'm picking a blowout of epic proportions, mainly because of third down.
Yeah. They have the lowest third down stop percentage in the NFL so far. And I also think, too, is they brought this up. I don't know what show it was. Do you think that Patrick Mahomes is going to take it out on the Bears every time because they didn't draft him, even though this is a completely different regime? I think he's that petty. After watching him on quarterback, he's a sicko. He has that greatness, crazy gene. Now, I didn't know he had till I watched quarterback. I believe he's still mad about that. And I think he's going. I think they're going out there with a point to prove. Like if we go ahead.
Did you see? And I meant to send this to you, but did you see the old Bears director, player personnel? I forgot buddy name, but they was talking about Patrick Mahomes, Mitchell. I forgot his name. Okay. Josh something, but they was talking about Patrick Mahomes, Mitchell Trubisky, and Deshaun Watson. They said that. Mitchell Trubisky had a slighter rating than Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson was much lower in the ranking. So either way it go, that's who the fuck we was gonna get, right? But they had Patrick Mahomes thinking that he was gonna be the guy at number one. But then at the same time, they said that they asked him. I think it was Waddle who asked him. Do they believe, like people say that, Patrick Mahomes would not be Patrick Mahomes if he was with the Bears? And he said, nope, he's a generational talent. So the one thing that I wish that, and I didn't see the whole interview, but the one thing that I hope that Waddle or Sylvie asked Buddy is if you thought that Pat Mahomes was a generational talent, the fuck did you think that Mitchell Trubisky was? If you knew then, if you knew then that he was a generational talent, Did you think Mitchell Trubisky was that too?
Yeah.
That right there, that's the ineptitude of the last regime. This one is totally fucking different. And it just showed like so in knowing that, and knowing what you just said, how he's a sicko, and knowing what I just told you right there, that they felt like he was a generational talent, but they drafted Mitchell Trubisky, which means that they thought that he was a more of a generational talent, right? They end up firing Matt Nagy too.
Yeah.
So Patrick Mahomes is sitting up there like, y'all didn't draft me. Y'all drafted Mitchell Trubisky. Y'all hired my mans, fired my mans. Now he back here. Generational ass whooping, y'all.
We're gonna transition in just a second. Courtney's here. We're gonna bring her in just 1 second. We're gonna give score predictions since we all three of us think we're gonna get blown out. I just hope they have some Kansas City barbecue in the press room. That's all I want. I've been searching Patrick Mahomes rap bars to put on my Instagram on field caption on Sunday. That's all I've been looking at for this weekend. But my score, I'm going Kansas City Chiefs 55, Chicago Bears 21. I do think they'll punt, but they're only going to punt one time. And also Nate Davis is questionable because obviously he hasn't really been practicing because of his situation. Oh, no type of remorse over here from Dante.
I'm sick of this shit, bro. My score is 42 to 17. Kansas City.
Also, Eddie Jackson probably not gonna play. He's doubtful with that foot injury. So yeah. So you got 42 to 17?
42 to 17.
Okay. What you got, man?
51-3.
51-3. Lord have mercy. So that's all we have for the local hours. We're gonna transition here into the national hour. I used to call it the main hour, but that sounds terrible. We're gonna transition here into the main hour. We're gonna show y'all everything we got going up in here. Let's throw the rundown on here as we introduce Courtney. Courtney, what's going on?
What's up, y'all? How we doing?
I'm doing quite swell.
Terrible as usual.
I've accepted my fate as a Bears fan, and I'm moving forward. So we got our sound off. We're gonna talk about Niners, Giants. We already talked about The Rock in the first segment with Cass, so we're not gonna talk about that anymore. We're gonna have talk about the Buffaloes getting ready to take Oregon on this weekend, and we're gonna preview week 3 and of course Goofy Mock of the week. But Dante, you can give me the main floor right here. So I'm gonna give y'all my sound off for the week. My message here, we have a message last week not even last week, on Monday, I think it was, to the Milwaukee Bucks. It was Monday or Friday, I think it was Friday, about not to play around with Giannis. I'm telling y'all again, don't play around with Joe Burrow. And I say this because calf injuries are not to play with. Ask the New York Jets how that turned out. Aaron Rodgers had calf problems during the offseason, during training camp. His Achilles popped. Kevin Durant, I remember the Achilles injury that he injured in the first round of the playoffs against the Los Angeles Clippers in 2019 that kept him out for the semifinals and the Western Conference Finals. He tried to push it in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. It was Game 5 or Game 4. I forgot which one. It was Game 4 or Game 5 of the NBA Finals against Toronto Raptors. That joint blew out. And now he gets hurt every Dr. King day. So my thing for y'all just made him the highest paid athlete in NFL history. You're 0-2. I know you need this win this weekend on Monday Night Football at SoFi Stadium against the Rams. I get it, but think long term. Your future is tied up into this guy. He's already torn his ACL in his rookie year. You don't want him to tear his Achilles. So I really hope if he does play on Monday, that it's actually been something that they feel comfortable with, and they're just not rushing them out there to be rushing them out there because they need this win. This is a guy like you. This to me, it's the update right now is that he's practiced this week in a limited capacity. They're going to take it day by day. But my sound off is I just hope that they actually do their due diligence with this one, man. So my sound off is on Joe Burrow, man. As we gonna get into our first time. Before we move on to that, is there anything y'all feel about what I just talked about with Joe Burrow? Any comments on Joe Burrow?
I mean, bro, we've seen it. Like, you don't play around with calf injuries, and like that's your franchise. So, I mean, you got time. I mean, I know, we talk about Super Bowl windows and how fast they can close, but you just locked him in long term. So, you don't want to start that off with him tearing his shit up, and then now we got to play the catch up game and hope he recovers and is still the same Joe Burrow. So, I say just take your time, bro. It's never good when you see him with the massage gun on the sidelines, massaging it throughout the game. Like, nah, bro, just relax.
Agreed. I mean, I know it's not. They haven't won a game this season yet, have they?
Nope.
They're 0-2. I know getting out of that 0-3 hole is pretty tough, but like you said, you locked them in for a long time. You can't be playing around like that. Like you said, he already tore his ACL rookie year. I guess the only hope is you got to just kind of hope that Jake Browning doesn't have a sort of Brock Purdy-esque renaissance, right, and start balling out, because then what you gonna do, right? Tragic. You just gotta hope that I hope it's nothing too serious for Joe Burrow long term, because that would stink.
Yeah, man, the league need to tell Joe Burrow to sit down. Like, he's one of the players that you don't need to get hurt for money reasons. Sit your ass down. I do think the Cincinnati Bengals could still win a wild card. I still think they could win the division if you sit them down a game or two. But the more you keep him out on the field, the more you increase your chance, not only that he gets hurt this year, but then his availability is in question next year too. Then plus an Achilles is a long-term injury. I don't give a damn about how much we've advanced in medicine. That's an injury that you don't want. So sit his ass down.
Yeah, tell Aaron Rodgers that, Mr. I'm going to take
not telling him shit.
Whatever.
I'm not telling him shit.
And like, first of all, now you believe in modern medicine. Get the fuck out.
Right?
Of here,
yeah, get out of here.
Like, shut up.
You know what? Real quick about Aaron, I ain't want to say this in front of Kaz. I really don't want to say this in front of Courtney. But low key, man. Hey, y'all seen Pet Cemetery?
Yeah.
Y'all seen Pet Cemetery? Y'all seen what the fuck happened to buddy ass Achilles?
Yeah.
That's all I got when it comes to Aaron. On that, nigga. Scalpel.
Bang wants all the smoke when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, man. I don't 100% disagree with you, by the way. I don't disagree with you at all on that. We're gonna get into the first game, which was last night. I'm not gonna lie to the public. I'm not gonna lie to the people who watch this TV show. I did not watch that game last night. I was watching The Bear with my mother because she has never seen it before. So we were finishing up season 2, and I was like, it's not in a rush. I was like, I'm just
overrated ass shit.
It is an amazing show. It is an amazing
Thank you, JR.
Y'all don't have appreciation for good cinema. Don't blame me. All right. It is an amazing show.
Here we go. Niggas love to insult you when you don't like what they like. Whenever you don't like what they like, you niggas
y'all don't have any appreciation for Chicago cooks.
I mean, no, I get the premise, but like when I was watching the show, I was like, y'all could have kept this shit, but okay.
The black people looking like lames, fam.
Bang, he said, what makes them look like lames?
Girl throwing up and shit.
Black people don't throw up?
Not like that. Not like that on TV. They got her looking all nervous and shit on TV, throwing up Robert Townsend and shit. Baby, I really want you to be some other shit, not a cook. That don't want to be a cook.
Black people don't have anxiety.
Yes, I have anxiety, nigga.
So
but that shit though, no. I'm a real nigga with anxiety, fam. Let's have a show that show real niggas with anxiety. Not that shit. Not her. And season 3 we gonna wonder if they gonna be star fucking? Her and the white dude? That's probably next up. Come on, man. That show, look. I see what y'all like about it. I'm not saying it's a bad show. It ain't for Bang. And for any of y'all that's watching this that's thinking, oh, he just like drug dealer cinema. No, nigga. I like Succession. So I love shows with people with anxiety because all them niggas got anxiety and it gave me anxiety too. But The Bear, nah, nigga. Nope. Shit lame.
You're not rocking with The Bear. We're having technical difficulties right now. We're trying to get Courtney back on the show.
Oh, she got mad and she left. That's what happened. My bad.
StreamYard is on some other stuff right now. Let's see. We're gonna try to figure that out. But what was I saying? We talking about the Thursday night football game last night. The New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. Niners won 30, Giants 12. Brock Purdy was 25 of 37, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey had 18 carries, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. Deebo Samuel, 6 receptions, 129, 1 touchdown. Man, what do y'all think about? Well, I'll say this before we get into it. I'll say I saw the highlights. Like I said, I saw the highlights. So I'm okay. There we go. I think we got Courtney back. I think we got her back.
My ladylike ears weren't prepared for that rant on Aaron Rodgers.
We got you out at the right time. This is what happens when you do live shows. Shout out to Dante. I don't know if Dante fixed it or you fixed it, but whoever fixed it, shout out.
Technology, man.
Whoever it did. That was our star producer, Dante. But what I was saying is from the highlights that I saw, and we're definitely using that bear clip. That's gonna be our TikTok clip of the week. Shout out to Bang. I was waiting for it. I was like, which one are we gonna use to make people irate? We're gonna use this one for this week. It's a great television. Courtney, have you seen The Bear?
The Bear?
Yeah.
Yes, chef.
Do you like
God.
It?
That show is
It's listen, it is enjoyable television. Now I will say get a little stressed out, okay? Like the music paired with just like sometimes like the lack of common sense from some of these just absolute jabronis, lovable hooligans, if you will. But yeah, no, I did enjoy the show.
Hey man, White Chicago is overrated. White Chicago is overrated, fam.
I can co-sign that
100%. Parts about White Chicago.
It is some delightful parts, but it's overrated. Again, on TV, they make White Chicago look like it's the only Chicago, fam. Yeah. It's not. That's
probably why I ain't like Shameless. That's probably why I ain't like Shameless, because it's like they make it seem like White Chicago is just this elite middle. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Look,
like,
I'm the
and
first
that yes chef shit. That yes chef shit. Kiss my ass, Jack. Hey, here's your Italian beef, nigga. Here's your Italian beef. Nigga, I'm the wiener circle in this bitch, nigga. Here's your Italian beef. Fuck out my face, Jack.
Bang wants a TV show based at like Maxwell's. Maxwell's off 87.
Yeah, like, what do you want them to display Chicago as on TV?
No, Bang with an El Gran TV show.
Hey, show me Mexican Chicago, my nigga. Like, look, it's on
Power Force right now.
Look, look, before we move on, I just want to say this so Scott is aware. I am tired of White Chicago TV shows. And I'm tired of the shot. All right, I'm tired of these show. Give me a show that's really, truly authentic, all Chicago. All right, you know you got motherfuckers that's watching Power and shit, and they get excited because this nigga say 290 off Kedzie. Niggas. What
about Chicago Fire?
You don't like the Chicago cinematic universe that's on NBC? You didn't like the authentic. You didn't like when John Barenthal said G twice on the bed. John, you had the Punisher say G 2 times on here.
No. Even when they say Chicago slang, it feel forced, man.
It never feel right. Matter of fact,
the best look. I'm not saying this because he's my former student. But my favorite Chicago cinema moment is Ricky Rampage getting killed by Tommy in Power. That's my favorite Chicago cinema moment.
They do not want me to eat great right now.
I don't know why it keeps kicking you out. It's got to be it's got to be on your end or something.
I have no idea what it could be. I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Hopefully nothing happens again. I will figure this out in post-production because I have no life. I have nothing to do on a Friday, and I'll be chopping clips for y'all while y'all drink alcohol and enjoy y'all youth. I don't know why it does it again. I'm gonna tell it to restart a computer. Maybe that works. Maybe that'll work because I don't know what else is going on. Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna go to Thursday night football. of what happened yesterday. So my whole thing was this, as we went on a whole bear tangent. I think that Brock Purdy might be a guy. And this is just going off what I saw from the highlights, from went back and watched the condensed version of the game, from what I've seen the first 2 weeks. Is he going to be the reason that you win the game? Is he going to be the reason that the San Francisco 49ers win the championship? Probably not. But what I do think he'll be compared to what Jimmy G did, Jimmy G made a lot of very tragic turnovers. Now, I will say this. Purdy got lucky a couple times last night. He probably should have had 2 or 3 picks. So I will say that. Shout out to George Kittle for actually knocking down doing the cornerback celebration when he knocked it down. But I do think that he's been coached well enough, and I think this is somebody that Kyle Shanahan can work with. And in the NFC that I feel is the JV league of the NFL, this is the perfect time for them. They're 3-0. They're in a division that is not tough at all. Seattle's cool. I think the Rams, they're competitive right now, but let's be real, they will falter. I think they're going to win this division with relative ease. 2 weeks in, I'm not really impressed with what I saw Philly, and I know Philly fans don't want to hit us, and you beat who you're supposed to beat. But they didn't really play the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. They played like the third-string quarterback. That was not the same thing. And the most important thing, too, is Brock Purdy looks healthy, coming off that injury that he injured in the NFC Championship game. Christian McCaffrey. We all know Christian McCaffrey was a dog. He was a dog coming in mid-season last year, dominated. But you really seeing just how acclimated he is to this offense with a full off-season workout plan, with a full training camp with the Niners. He's been great. And what else can we say about Debo, dog? Debo is Debo. Debo has been insane, amazing game yesterday, and this defense is nasty. Nick Bosa was storming Daniel Jones like he stormed the Capitol in January 6th. It was just amazing defense all over from this team. So I love what I'm seeing from the Niners, and I love what I'm seeing from Brock Purdy. I have absolutely nothing to say about the New York Giants. Nothing. If you thought anything besides what happened last night was going to be, I don't know what to tell you, especially without Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones is not good. Daniel Jones is lucky the Arizona Cardinals put in that call last week. So really all my thoughts on the 49ers.
Yeah, I think the 49ers should be the NFC favorite to go to the Super Bowl. They have a great all-around team, and like we said, the question mark for a while was, can Brock Purdy be a guy, or was it a fluke? And I think, I've always been, Team Kyle Shanahan. So once again, you give him a half-competent quarterback, he's going to win 10 games. And so with this roster they have, and Purdy coming back from injury, coming back from surgery, and looking a lot like, the Brock Purdy we saw last year, I think it's a good chance that the 49ers are going to be that team that represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. And I don't think it's going to be close. So as long as they stay healthy, that like most teams every year, you got to get that good run with health where none of your major players get hurt, or if they do get hurt, they're able to come back and come back around the playoff times, or come back in enough time. Debo is always a question mark. You have to worry about him. He's been asked some little nagging injuries here and there. Same with Christian McCaffrey. So if that team can stay healthy, I think, without a doubt, that's the best team in the national in the NFC.
Courtney, what you think about this before they stream you out, don't kick you out again?
Yeah, right. I'm so sorry, guys. That's
not your fault,
baby. Listen, bear in mind that they were playing the Giants, which is, that's very Make-A-Wish status football. But that being said, the Niners definitely are the best team in the league, bar none right now. And I don't know if that – listen, Brock Purdy is serviceable. Everyone's like, oh, look at his stat line. What he went 25 for 37 last night, 310, 2 touchdowns. By all intents and purposes, that's a great line. But he did look a little questionable there for maybe the first quarter and a half till he really got settled in. I don't think – honestly, I think you could probably put anybody in that position. And I'm not saying he's a system quarterback, but
anybody but Trey Lance.
Anybody – well, I don't know if he got a fair deal or not.
I've been saying Trey Lance was booty since before he was getting his games on ESPN News, and I stay on that point. You get yours, Courtney?
No. That's really all I got. I'm not a Brock Purdy stan. I don't know if I'm a believer quite yet. I know everybody's pretty high on him, but I think that the rest of the team has more to do with their success than he does.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Like I said, he's not gonna win you a game, but he's not gonna be the reason why you mess up. And you need quarterbacks like that to win you a Super Bowl. All right, every quarterback is not gonna be Patrick Mahomes just throwing it all across the field, or Peyton Manning in Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl needed that running game from Dominique Rose.
Don't remind me. Please don't remind me.
I know I don't like to talk about it either. But you need quarterbacks like Brock Purdy, and he looked real good last night. And mind you, he just came off of Tommy John. So I said that I think he could end up being the top quarterback in the NFC a couple of weeks ago. Last night was the reason why I had said that. Because all that team with that defense and that talent on offense needs is a nigga like Brock.
Never thought I'd hear that string of words together.
A nigga like Brock. We're gonna pivot real quick to college football, really quick. I wanted to talk about my favorite college football team because I am a bandwagoner. The Colorado Buffaloes will be getting their first real test tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern time on ABC. They will be going to Oregon to take on the number 10 ranked Oregon Ducks and their quarterback Bo Nix. My question for you guys here is: do you think the Dion Love and the hype train of the Buffaloes comes to an end this week? Because if you pay attention to the timeline last Saturday, there's a lot of niggas who was getting ready to pull their hate out. Oh, this is what happens. It's cool to bring college game day, but you can't underestimate your opponent. Everybody about to turn on him. But then Shador came through, did what he got to do. Do you think that they can go out here and beat Oregon tomorrow, or is this just going to be like the beginning of a free fall for them?
No, unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to beat Oregon. I would love to say that they do. If they do, it's going to be by like 3 points. If they do manage to beat them, but I don't think they will. I think Oregon will win handedly, especially with it being in Oregon. It's a pretty hyped up game. I don't think Colorado is going to have a chance, especially with that defense. It's not particularly great. They let Colorado stay hanging there like that. I don't think so. But yeah, that's what sports media loves to do. They love to build you up just so they can tear you down. And I know the general public, a certain type of people are definitely waiting for the opportunity to humble Deion Sanders. So yeah, unfortunately, I think it comes to an end this week. I think we'll still hold him down, but I think some of the folks might jump off the wagon just because they will likely take a nail this weekend.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be entertaining in the first half, but no Travis Hunter. And like Deion has said time and time again, they're still like a couple recruits away up the middle in the front on both sides of the ball on the O-line and D-line. So I think this is one of those games where you'll run into a program where you'll see the difference. And like it'll really stand out, and it'll be hard for them. Like I said, Shador has been amazing, and I still think they'll put up points. But overall, I think they're 21 point dogs. Headed up to Eugene.
Point dogs.
Yeah. I think it's possible that they'll cover, but I think it will be closer to that spread number. So I think, like you said, there's a gang of people waiting for Deion to fail. So they're gonna jump out there, talk they talk. But overall, I think the story is still gonna be going. And if they can keep this game close, obviously we know Coach Prime is not a fan of moral victories. But if you lose by 3 points, or keep it close, that's a win for this program in year one of what they're trying to do.
It's year one. I think that we have to temper expectations when it comes to this team. Nobody but Deion and that team expected them to come out and do the things they've done in the first 2 weeks of the season. And only Deion and his team expect them to go out and continue that against Oregon. But the difference between Oregon and everybody else is Bo Nix. The difference between Oregon and everybody else is while they might not have a dynamic defense, they have a defense that could do something in the Pac-2. All right. So when you're looking at this team currently, the way it's constructed right now, I don't think it's going to be a 21-point game. I'll take the under on that. But you will see a key difference between what's going on in Oregon and what's going on in Colorado. And the thing about it is, every up and coming program needs a game like this. All right. I actually think that they're going to be, I think the USC game is going to be closer
I was just about to say
than
that.
this
Yeah,
Oregon
because
game.
USC
Actually.
defense stinks.
Yeah, they defense stinks, and it's really like Caleb Williams throwing it to Jerry
Random niggas.
Rice son and us.
Yeah.
So I think that game is going to be a bit closer, but you need games like what may end up happening tomorrow. But if they defeat Oregon, oh my God, like that's
going to be an
you talking
expensive
about
ticket.
yeah, that hype train is good. And they're in Oregon too. Like if they were in Colorado, I'll say, maybe it's even a little bit closer than, under 21. But, Oregon plays well at the crib. That stadium going to be rocking. And that's a team that's going to be really literally gunning for Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Like the Colorado State game is a rival game. That's a rivalry game. So if you look at that game and you saw how close it was, look at that Oregon game. And that's why I believe that Deion is going to get his first loss. But it's okay.
Yeah, I'm with y'all, man. I think, honestly, there should be no pressure on the Colorado side. I would be coming here with obviously, it's a completely different situation. I'm not trying to compare them to the Bears because the Colorado Buffaloes actually having a great season. But what I'm saying, like, they should go in there like, nobody expects us to win. Let's just do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? I think the Travis Hunter injury is a big factor, and I think defensively more than offensively, why it's such a big thing for them. From what I've seen these first 3 games for Colorado, they have a very hard time pressuring the quarterback. They give up a lot of third and longs. It really looks like Chicago Bears defense every time I watch them. Like you said, Bang, like you said, Courtney, they're still a couple recruits away from being what they envisioned themselves to be within a year or two. But if they can keep this close and it's a game in the fourth quarter, that's a win right there. I do feel like, they're going to come for them. I feel like this is a team that knows how to put up a lot of points. They just put up 55 points last week. They're going to be in their arena is going to be real loud and rocking there. So I do feel like they're going to get a loss and, but it's fine. I think that next week against USC, they might actually win from all the reasons we just named. I think that's going to be a bigger opportunity for them. I think they can find a way to win either one of these next 2 games. This just takes it from a fun season to, they might be a little bit ahead of the curve. So that's what I'll be looking for with that one. So that's all we got on our small college coverage because I only watch Colorado Buffaloes and Caleb Williams. Yeah, you rolling with the Roll Tide. Even though Nick Saban,
no. We're moving on.
Even though Nick Saban like he want to take some cars, but we'll see how that goes. But let's move on to NFL. We're gonna preview the Week 3 slate. Starting on Sunday. Let's just go through the games, man. We're gonna start off with Ravens and Colts. Last time I checked, I'm looking at the injury report right here. The Ravens have ruled out Odell Beckham, cornerback Marlon Humphrey, offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley, center Tyler Linderbaum, safety Marcus Williams, running back Justice Hill, and defensive end Odafe Awa, I think that's pronounced his name. They are all out on Sunday. And I do know that Anthony Richardson will not be playing on Sunday as well because of that concussion he sustained. It will be Gardner Minshew time in Indianapolis. Who you guys got in this game?
Before is the Kardashian curse back?
How is it back? Who's
why is
Odell?
I forgot about that.
Like, is it back? Because we know she ain't been dating athletes in a while, but they might be back. But no, I got the Ravens, the Colts. Anthony Richardson got the concussion. Like I said, I want to see him do well, but he's not playing. Gardner Minshew, he's one of those backups that everybody loves, but at the end of the day, he reminds you why he's a backup by the time the second half starts rolling. So I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Agreed. I'm rolling with the Ravens as well. I really loved seeing Anthony Richardson ball out last week, though. Like, that's the best thing about this Indianapolis team. So it's a real shame that he's out this week. Get better soon, dude. But I got to go with the Ravens.
I'm going to go with the Colts in the upset. Everybody
You've been doing good on your upset picks.
I'm going to go with the Colts in the upset, man. Nothing else to say there. I just think that they can be had with so many people out and hurt. This is the game to do it. So I'm going to go with the Colts.
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I do know they have a lot of people out. It wouldn't shock me if the Colts won. Like you said, Dante, Gardner Minshew is one of them guys who can get you a game. If Anthony Richards is going to be out, for any sustained amount of time, I think it'll be a problem. But Lamar Jackson is not a stranger to playing without great receivers. So as much as he's gonna miss Odell, he still has Zay Flowers. I think that that's gonna be enough to get it done. So I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens in this one. They're gonna go 3-0 on the season and continue to strengthen their lead in the AFC North. By the way, amazing Monday night. I love the Monday Night Football doubleheader. That was classic AFC North football right there. Ugly, knocking niggas out. Mike Tomlin coming up there. Talking about, win is a win, gentlemen. We're not gonna apologize for wins. I love Mike Tomlin. That's like 2004, 2005 AFC North football on Monday. So I do think that we might see a little bit of that from the Ravens. Dante, like, what are points, nigga?
Yeah,
you lost me with that one.
I need the forward pass, brother.
I have. That's because I'm a Bears fan, but I have an affinity for a hard pause.
I want to say that's crazy.
That was crazy. That was insane.
Brother, I think that's Stockholm syndrome is what you have.
That was a pause. Yeah. Defensive football. We're gonna move along. The next game, Browns Titans in Cleveland. Freaky Sean had a bad game last week. He might just be bad now. They'll be going up against the Tennessee Titans. I'm still gonna stick with the Browns this. I think they'll bounce back in this game.
I think this will be a mid-off. I got the Browns.
Mid-off Browns.
I'm gonna go with the Titans just because
everybody took the Browns.
I will never, ever, ever get behind that man. I'm so sorry. Pause.
No, that
was crazy.
That's factual.
We're gonna go to Dolphins Broncos. Dolphins. Nice. Close win against the not really close. It was the game. The score was closer than really the game was, but a nice win for them in Foxborough last week over the New England Patriots. They are now 5-0 against Bill Belichick since Tom Brady left the building. This week they'll be taking on the Denver Broncos in their home opener out there in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Tua, man, I like Tua. I think he's doing much better. I still don't think he's and it's gonna sound like I'm a hater because I'm really not. I actually really like Tua. I don't think he's a guy yet, and this is nothing wrong with system. I'm not trying to use the system quarterback thing, but I really think his weapons and Mike McDaniel's offensive system helps him out. He be throwing a lot of BLTs out there, and then defenders just don't be grabbing them joints. I think he's gonna have a harder time against this Broncos defense. But the reason I think they win, and the reason I think they win by multiple touchdowns, is I'm still not sold on this Broncos offense. I'm still not sold on Russell Wilson, and I'm pretty sure that Sean Payton is, because he pretty much threw that nigga under the bus after that loss to the Commanders this week, and I think he's slowly getting fed up with Mr. Danger Witch himself. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins in this one. I think we're gonna have a matchup of the 0-3 at the lakefront next week at Soldier Field between the Broncos and the Bears.
I agree, bro. I think this is going to be the Vic Fangio revenge game. He's going to terrorize Russell Wilson all night. And I got the Dolphins by a large portion. I think with Tua, I know you say he throws a lot of BLTs, but I think really he's just a really accurate passer. So, like, a lot of the passes look like they should be picks, but he puts the ball where his receivers can get it. And, like, he does a lot of that on the run, and he has done an amazing job with Mike McDaniels. You really got to shout them out because McDaniels, we saw how Flores tried to use Tua compared to what Mike McDaniels has done, and we've seen the results. Obviously, he has more weapons now, but just seeing their relationship and the way that it's grown, I got the Dolphins big over the Broncos. I think Russ done. Russ is cooked. He's going to be holding a clipboard soon, and so
that makes me really sad because I love Russell Wilson and I want him to be great so bad. But yeah, I got to go with the Dolphins handedly. Like, I'm talking 2 touchdowns.
They about to stomp them out.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns minimum.
We're going to see Jarrett Stidham this game, y'all. Jarrett Stidham will be making an appearance in the second half of that game. Dolphins will win, but we're going to see Jarrett Stidham, and the quarterback controversy will ride into the Bears game. I'm happy about that.
And then Sean Payton's gonna go into his little dark room and watch Shedeur Sanders highlights all night.
Yeah, you came out of retirement for that, buddy.
For that dude. And also, by the way, from the prior game we just went over, Zay Jones is out on Sunday with the knee. So
Ooh.
I think I might change my pick to Colts. I think we're gonna go to Colts because I don't know. This might be a lot.
Wait a minute, Zay Jones or Zay Flowers?
Oh, you right. I got these niggas messed up. You right. Never mind. Never mind. I got these niggas messed up.
My bad, dog.
Zay Jones is out, not Zay Flowers.
And so he out for the Jaguars. So all right,
he's
heavy
out for
dose
the
of
Jaguars.
Cavalry.
Yeah. So yeah, heavy dose of Cavalry. I did not know. I didn't the mix up of the Zays.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, he said free him already.
I said feed him, but
you said feed him. I think said free him. Feed him.
I mean, listen, I got maybe 2 more games of watching Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley, and then I can make my decision.
Does Trevor Lawrence get away with murder? Because I don't feel like anybody's been talking about he's been mediocre these first 2 games.
I won't say murder.
He was not mediocre that first game.
That first game, he lit it up. That first.
Game. He's mediocre.
He's inconsistent. He's inconsistent. I mean, that's just the thing. He's a young, inconsistent quarterback. He shows you the flashes. I say that compared, like I know we always turn into the Bears, but like we talked about how we wanted Justin to show us flashes. I think Trevor's showing you those flashes with his arm. Like he makes some crazy throws sometimes, but he does dumb shit as well. Like
Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's a part of the process. You know, he's a young quarterback.
I'll always have smoke for Josh Allen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we know you're gonna be on it every week. I feel you. I definitely respect it.
I am on his head.
The next one is on what I call the Bill Parcells Bowl. Jets Patriots at MetLife Stadium. Nothing says I'm gonna change the channel more than Zach Wilson versus Mac Jones. I don't really care who wins this game, but I'm gonna say I guess Jets. I guess I'll go Jets for this.
Yeah, I'll go Jets because I think the Jets defense. Mac Jones ain't gonna do nothing with that defense. Like he is who he is. I know people like to talk his win-loss record. When any other time we talk about a quarterback, we say win-loss is our team sport. A team accolade. But I got to go with. I'm going Jets.
I'm also going with the Jets. I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair, but I think the Jets' defense is going to be who makes the difference here. So I'm going with the Jets.
It's the Mac Jones game, y'all. I'm going with the Patriots. Patriots gonna take this. Mac
Jones game sounds nasty.
Mac Jones game.
Mac Jones game.
It's gonna be the best
next
game
one,
of his career.
Next one will be at FedEx Field, which I will be there in about 2 weeks. Left hand up, the Commanders will be hosting the Buffalo Bills and Courtney's guy Josh Allen. The Commanders are 2-0 right now. Nice last minute win last week over the Denver Broncos. Sam Howell's actually looking serviceable. Scary Terry looked good. Chase Young looked good last week. The Bills got a win over the Raiders, which I was not impressed over. I just feel like I think I'm gonna go with the Commanders in this one. I'm buying what the Commanders are selling early. Now I don't think this will be a good team. I still think they'll make the playoffs, but I think at home this will be enough to beat them. We all know that Josh Allen is going to give it to the other team. It's just a matter of how many times. So I'm going to go with the Commanders with this one. They're going to go 3-0.
Yes, I hear my music. Let's go. Absolutely. I am going with the Commanders in the upset. I'm smelling Josh Allen, 2 picks, maybe 1 pick and a fumble loss. You know, I'm feeling the negative energy, okay? And I'm also thinking big game from my man Brian Robinson. Once again, I'm going with the Commanders in the upset over the Bills.
That makes 3 of them because I'm going with the Commanders as well.
I
like everything Eric Bieniemy is doing with that offense. You know, they scored 30 points in 2 straight games. I think they'll keep that going. And I think they'll take care of business. Buffalo, Josh Allen, we talk about the connection with the quarterbacks and their coaches. Losing Dabo, he hasn't looked the same since he left. So I'm rocking with the Commanders.
Man, I'm shocked that I'm going against the grain with all of these games. But now I can't see the Commanders winning this no matter where they're at. I do love what Eric Bieniemy is doing. I do love that. But I don't think they win this game.
Oh, you've been going against the grain for the first 3 weeks of this podcast. This is not really new terrain here. This is like your role. that you've been doing, and you've been right more times than not. Next one, which was previewed on that new episode of King's Landing, which is out right now on the Barbershop Network. You can check out Brian and Jared. They previewed this episode in full. The Detroit Lions, fresh off a close overtime loss to the Seattle Seahawks, will be back at home hosting the Atlanta Falcons, the 2-0 Atlanta Falcons. Dave Montgomery is out for this game with a knee injury. He got carted out last week. Amon-Ra St. Brown missed a lot of practice, but he will be playing on Sunday, and they'll be going against Falcons. Falcons, to me, man, they have a pretty good start. Nice win against Green Bay last week. Did what they had to do against Carolina in week 1. I like this defense, and me and Dante, we've talked about this a lot. I think they've got everything you need except for a quarterback. I think in a game like this, you're gonna have to score more points throwing the football. I think Bijan Robinson is great. He's been everything as advertised for them to take him as high as they did. I love the defense, but when you're going up against this Lions team that is well coached, and I think they don't like how they lost last week. I think they're going to come out and try to make a statement. I think they're going to take Bijan out the game. They're going to make Desmond Ridder throw that pill, and I don't think that's something that's going to work very well for them. Now, they do have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He'll be out. He's out for the season, actually, with his injury. So that's going to be something.
Oh, he is.
Wait,
he's out for the year.
really?
He's out for the
Yeah,
year.
he done.
He's done for the year. Yeah.
Curse of the blue ski mask.
The curse of the blue ski mask. The 8 Mile curse, as I'm gonna call it. He's done for the season, so that's gonna be a blow to their defense. But I don't believe that Desmond Ridder can make the plays they need to make this game. But I do think it'll be a close game. But I would take the Detroit Lions and just them move to 2-1.
Certified Falcons hater, I gotta go with the Lions as well. Like you said, I don't think they're gonna take two L's in a row, especially like you said, the way they lost last week. I think the Lions come out and try to make a big statement. I got them winning by at least 10.
Atlanta. I got Atlanta. The streak continues. Heavy dose of Bijan Robinson. They actually have 2 of the top 10 running backs in the league right now, with Bijan and Tyler Algier. And Arthur Smith, he traded in Derrick Henry for 2 running backs, and so he's run that system really well. And Ridder, for everything he hasn't done, he ain't turned the ball over a lot. And so that's one of the reasons the Falcons have been able to stay in these games. And so I just can't find myself picking Detroit for a lot of things. And this game, I'm gonna go with the Falcons. Falcons by 10.
Oh man, okay, you got a sizable win.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a high scoring game, but they're gonna win by 10 points.
Okay. You got the Dirty Birds, babe.
Yeah.
I got the Dirty Birds, Jack.
Telling you, bro.
I think this is a game that shows everybody that this whole Detroit Lion fandom and all that shit was fake. All right? Started with them damn masks, and this week it'll be another loss. Atlanta is going to win. I'm not going to say by 10, but I'll say they'll win by 4.
All right, let's move on to another NFC North team, the team that we hate more than the devil himself. The Green Bay Packers will have their home opener going up against Courtney's New Orleans Saints, who I think the Saints
down Jesus,
too, right? The Saints,
Yes, sir. Raise your hand if your team's undefeated.
I can't say that. I wish I could. I can't.
I know. I knew I was going to be the only one.
Or as Dante calls Derek Carr, check down Jesus. We going up against up north check down Jesus, which is Jordan Love. But I will give some actual credit to Matt LaFleur. He might actually be a good play caller. I thought it was just Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he has found a way to scheme these wide receivers open. He's making Jordan Love look as good as he possibly can. Now, as we saw in the end of the Atlanta game, he still can't make the throws that he needs to towards the end, even though I don't blame that last throw on him. That was more on the wide receiver who dropped it. Christian Watson still will be out. Aaron Jones should be playing on Sunday, but they'll be going against the Saints. We have a great defense. Defense has been really doing really well. I want to say Saints. I really want to say Saints. But at home, that loud fan base over there in Lambeau, I'm going to go with the Packers. I hope I'm wrong with these 2 picks. I would love for both of these 2 teams to lose, the Lions and the Packers, but I think the Packers will win a very close game by a field goal, and I think Jordan Love made just a little more plays than Derek Carr will. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers.
I unfortunately have to completely agree with that assessment. I'm still not completely sold on Derek Carr, and by not completely sold. I mean, not sold at all. He makes me very, very nervous. And in Green Bay, yeah, I think we lose by 3.
I'm more sold on Derek Carr than I am on Jordan Love, especially since he's slipping in the damn lineman on there. So I think again, just like with the Lions, we're gonna look at this Green Bay game. I think we're gonna look at the NFC North this week and be like, damn, y'all terrible.
It's gonna be like that meme where dude walked to the dirty house like, damn girl, you live like this? That's what the NFC North gonna look like.
Yep. the NFC North is living in squalor, fam.
Yeah.
Squalor. Yeah, I got the pack at home.
No football analysis. You just got the pack at home.
No, that's it.
I was waiting for the follow up.
No, I have nothing in depth to say about the analysis. Yeah, I guess Green Bay gonna win. No, I ain't got
next game in Duval County in Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Jaguars trying to bounce back from a loss last week to Kansas City Chiefs. They will be hosting the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud practiced all week, so he will be playing. I got the correct Zay here. Zay Jones will not be playing on Sunday. So like Courtney said, it's going to be a heavy dose of Calvin Ridley. I do think Trev and those boys will find a way to bounce back. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars winning this one with pretty much, I think it's going to be ease for them too. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a really, really good game, and they'll win this one by a couple scores.
Yeah, I agree. I got Jaguars as well. I think Jaguars will be ahead, and they'll be ahead early. So, we'll see more of the good passing numbers from CJ Stroud because, most of these games they've been playing from behind, so he's had to throw the ball. We've seen him, make some good throws and really do a lot of the things that we haven't seen Justin Fields do in terms of just anticipating and throwing the rock. So I think his development will continue. But I think Trevor has a good game. I think we get a heavy dose of Calvin Ridley. But once again, we missed him for a year, but he's showing you that he's one of the best receivers in the league. So I got the Jaguars.
I got the Jags as well. Calvin Ridley, 30-point fantasy performance. Let's get it.
I got the Orlando Jaguars.
Orlando.
Yeah. Shit, the way they own it talking, they may not be that much longer. You're right.
Yeah. The Orlando Jaguars. Now we go to the battle of the 0-2 teams at US Bank Stadium. The Minnesota Vikings taking on Jay Herbo and the Carl's Jr. Chargers, I like to call them. We're not gonna call them Los Angeles. So let's be real. Nobody in LA cares about them niggas. I actually think more people might care about the Clippers, but I digress. Austin Eckler is out, which means we in the middle of the NFL. We getting towards the first month of the NFL season. Austin Eckler started to miss games. I think that the Chargers gonna go 0-3, and this heat is gonna be all on Brandon Staley. He's gonna be looking down the barrel of LinkedIn. I think that Kirk Cousins is gonna get it done. By the way, shout out my brother. He's got his Is He a Guy episode 1 right now, which is on the Barber's Chair YouTube, where he breaks down which players in the NFL are a guy this week, and he's got Kirk Cousins as number 1 after his performances for the last couple weeks. I think Kirk's gonna ball out. I think that their defense will make enough plays. I think this will be a shootout, but I do think that the Vikings will make just 1 or 2 more plays. I think Justin Jefferson's gonna go crazy, and I think Jordan Addison's gonna have a great ball game too. So I'm going with the Vikings.
I agree. Doesn't even matter what the over-under is. Whatever it is, take the over because this is going to be a high-scoring affair. But like you said, I think Kirk Cousins is going to do a little bit more to get it done, and I think they're finally going to get their first win. This is going to be a mid-off. Like, this is the refill the chip bowl. Yeah.
There's a lot of refill the chip bowl games this week.
Yeah, no, this game's going to stink, but I do got the Vikings as well. Kirk's been playing well. And I think Staley, I agree with you. They hired Kellen Moore for a reason. They're going to get him up out of there and just elevate him right to that spot and let him see what he can do with Justin Herbert.
Damn, why I keep going against the grain?
Oh, my, okay.
I got the Chargers, man. I got the Chargers, even though Austin Eckler is going to be out, which a note to y'all, never pick that man in fantasy football.
Ever.
Oh, no, ever.
That's like an unwritten rule.
That was my first round pick.
That motherfucker not only is he useless, he was one of the running backs that was like, how come we ain't getting paid? Nigga, that's why. I
was rooting for him in his contract year. I was rooting for him to come out and make a big statement, not that statement being, don't pay me because I'm perpetually hurt.
Yeah. So, but I got the Chargers in a shootout, 37-34. Josh Herbert with a game-winning touchdown. I mean, not Josh, but Justin.
Josh
I know
Herbert.
what you meant.
Dante, you gave your pick already. I'm tweaking.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Seahawks Panthers is another field of chip bowl up game. There will be no Bryce Young. He is dealing with an ankle injury. He's expected to probably miss the next 2 weeks. So that means
Red
it's
Rifle.
time for the Red Rifle. The Red Rifle time in Carolina. Having all said and all that, they're getting blown out of that rainy sky in Seattle. I think Geno and them boys win this game by very, very easily. I'm going with Seahawks in this one, even though DK Metcalf is questionable for Sunday, but that doesn't really matter. I'm going with the Seahawks.
Yeah,
Bears
Seahawks
win.
by 10.
Bears win.
Bears win. That's the only win they getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks by at least 10 points, if not 14.
The worst game on the schedule, arguably. Well, actually, that might be Bears Chiefs, but Cardinals Cowboys in Arizona. The bad news for the Cowboys: Trayvon Diggs.
That's trash.
And I feel so bad for Trayvon Diggs, man. I'm a fan of his. I think that defense is amazing. He had a great start to the year. But having said all of that, that's not gonna matter in this game. Because the Cardinals, not only are they bad, they are intentionally being bad. I think this will be a game that Michael Parsons is going to go out there and dominate. Defense is going to dominate. And Dakota is going to do enough to win. I think they're going to win this one in blowout fashion. I'm going with the Cowboys to go 3-0.
I agree, Cowboys. Definitely Cowboys. Like I said, the Cardinals are going to give you 3 quarters of competitive football every week, and then the 4th quarter they're gonna huff it up. But this week they just coming out against a better team, so I got the Cowboys. Unless Dak, has one of those Dak games where he decides to get a ball to the other team and make it interesting. But I doubt he even does that.
And then the Cardinals owner gonna come in like, shut it down.
Yeah,
shut it down.
They're gonna put that call in like, excuse me.
Do you remember what we're supposed to be doing here?
Did you see Caleb last night? Cut the shit.
Keyword Caleb.
Yeah, but I got Cowboys.
Yeah, I got Cowboys handedly as well.
Oh, they
man,
are.
You going against the grain here? You going Cowboys too?
Oh yeah, it's Cowboys. Matter of fact, Arizona probably ain't gonna even score.
Yeah,
nah,
I agree.
It was funny. I was just reading the text that Jay and Dame are in Houston. So it's like
what Dame Dash?
Jay-Z?
Well, Dame Dash is at our Houston radio station. And then the
Beyonce concert out there. Yeah.
Oh, I thought.
Dame.
No, I thought you meant Dame Dash was at the Beyonce show.
I about to say that's more pressing than Dame Lillard. Fuck him.
My Rockefeller bleeding heart almost popped through the screen.
But they both in Houston.
That don't mean nothing.
I know. I'm just
That's
saying.
like saying I'm in the same city as Joe Biden. I'm not finna go.
But they did say Shorty from one of the Shorties from the original Destiny Child is there too.
She bought tickets. So, they finna shout her out in the crowd.
But no. You was not letting me finish what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is based off the Memphis Bleak viral video from Drink Champs. It would be funny if Dame hit Jay like, "Hey yo, fam, what's up with those tickets?" Now that would be now I'm really the ticket guy, huh?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious as hell if he hit Jay like.
Shout out to all the people on Twitter who don't have friends and say, why he mess with him? Like, who? I would do that with all my friends. Like, what do you mean? Like, y'all need to get outside. Anyway, Sunday Night Football, Raiders Steelers at Allegiant Stadium. This will be another mid-off. I'm going with the Steelers in this one. Just because I'm not buying anything the Raiders are selling. Like, anything that they're selling. The best thing I can say about the Raiders is I really like Allegiant Stadium. I think this will be a nasty game, like a 21-17 game. But I am going with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one, as we lost Courtney again. I don't know what happened, but
yeah. I'm gonna go Raiders. At Allegiant, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I'm gonna go Raiders.
Hey man, I told y'all George Pickens. I didn't think he was gonna have no 11 catch game, but he looked pretty good in that game, and he's gonna look pretty good again because the Raiders are gonna get their ass whooped.
And to wrap up week 3, we have got a Monday Night Football doubleheader. Another doubleheader. What do y'all feel about the doubleheaders? Do y'all like the doubleheaders?
I'm over it.
You over it?
The football's not even good enough for them to be substantiating giving us 2 at one time.
Yeah, they could have kept. They could keep this. Like, just give us one really good game, bro. Cause I'm damn near done with Thursday night football. That shit always sucks. Like, let's just keep it on. I understand y'all want to stretch it out for the sake of the TV dollars, but let's just focus on having one good game. We don't need to. We don't need to at all.
I don't disagree with y'all whatsoever. It's bad football, even though I say football is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's sometimes good. It's still good. Both of those games on Monday were technically bad football, but I was locked in like that video of Paul Pierce with the phone, 2 phones in his hand. Like I had the TV going, I had the Mac up with the other game. So I love it. Even if it's bad football, I love it. I'm gonna go with that. But the first Monday night football game will be in Tampa Bay. The 2-0 Buccaneers will be trying to go 3-0. They'll be hosting the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. That one is going to be over very quickly as the Buccaneers are going to be brought down to reality pretty fast. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have an amazing game. I think this Eagles defense is going to show Baker Mayfield that he's Baker Mayfield. And I have got the Philadelphia Eagles by at least 14 points.
Same. Go Birds.
I'm going to pick Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game.
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not really
big upset alert.
Hurts disrespect.
Yeah, I'm not big on anything Philadelphia this year. I think that team is going to underachieve this year. And I think Baker's been playing quietly really well since his shoulders healed up. So I think, I got the Bucs. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I do have the Bucs.
All right.
Bang, your microphone is not plugged in, my boy.
Oh, I was yelling at the wife to see where she was going. I didn't want to be like, "Hey, yo, what you talking about?" That been rude, but nah, Eagles, man, Eagles in a route.
Eagles in a route. The second game of the Monday Night Football schedule, our last game of our Week 3 preview, is a rematch of Super Bowl 56. It will be the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Los Angeles Rams. Joe Burrow, this is his day-to-day. He was limited in practice today. If I had to bet, I'm pretty sure he'll play. The Rams are 1-1, and I don't think the Rams are going to be a good team. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but man, I've been one of Sean McVay's harshest critics because I've always said for years until they actually won a Super Bowl, name me 5 reasons Sean McVay is a great coach without mentioning his age, and niggas had no answer for me for a long time. But after seeing what he's playing with, he's going out there competing with just Aaron Donald and Matthew Stafford and
I do name
niggas. Yeah, niggas who work at El Pollo Loco, throwing at them like he's and they've been competitive. I think they got a really good chance to win this game because even if Joe Burrow plays, he has not been great. I'm gonna give the Bengals a slight edge. I'm gonna give them a field goal win just because I just can't see this team going 0-3. They're too good of a team to go 0-3. If they go 0-3 in this division, if Baltimore wins and if Cleveland wins, and especially if Pittsburgh wins, then they find themselves at the bottom of this division. So just off that, I'm gonna pick the Bengals, but it would not shock me if the Rams come up with a W on Monday night.
I'm going with the Rams. I'm actually picking the Rams. I think that, like you said, Cavs and nothing to play around with, and I think we're gonna see Joe really be hobbled up until he decides to just sit the fuck down. Hopefully, the football guys don't sit him down, but I think with that calf, there's really nothing to play with. So I'm gonna go with good old Todd McVay and the Rams.
The man's called him Todd McVay.
Well, yeah, wow, I be fucking names up. Speaking of fucking names up, no lie, I call Jay Ellis from SportsCenter.
You mean, Jay Ellis from SportsCenter?
Yeah,
Jay Ellis is Lawrence, nigga. Yeah,
no.
Jay Ellis is Lawrence, nigga.
I fucked it up again. Buddy from SportsCenter. I walked up to this man. I was drunk. I called him Jay Billis, and he just shook my hand and started laughing. And he was like, Jay Billis is a 6'7" white man, right? And so I was just sitting there rolling, bro. But yes, McVay.
You talking about Jay? It's Jay Harris, right?
Jay Harris.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, Jay Harris. That's what I'm talking about.
You went up to Buddy and called him Jay
I said,
Billis?
Mr. Billis. I said, Mr. Billis, I fuck with you. And he started rolling. But no, I got the Rams, bro. I got the Rams.
I'm down. I thought you said Jay Ellis. I'm like, yeah, Lawrence, nigga. Like, oh man, bang. Who you got?
I got the Rams. I got the Rams, surprisingly. Yep. And I am so glad that I drafted Kyron Williams late in fantasy football because I had a feeling that, Cam Akers was no longer going to be with the Rams, and I was right about that. But yeah, man, McVay doing all the right things. And, your team injured, fam. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
And that concludes our week 3 preview, man. I'll only probably be seeing a couple of the games because I will be traveling to Kansas City. So there will be no show on Monday before I get to my Goofy Mug of the week. There will be no show on Monday because I don't know what time I'll be back from Monday. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be tired anyway. So I don't want to give y'all a half non-research show on Monday. So there'll be no show on Monday, but we will be back on Friday next week. But I'm going to close this out with my Goofy Mug of the week. I am going to give this something that kind of Dante alluded to earlier in the local hour. I'm giving this to you fake Chicago Bears beat writer niggas who are not actually beat writers. And this might sound a little terrible, but it is what it is. That's what this segment is for. There's no problem with being a fan. There's no problem with just being a fan. Y'all got to stop going, watching the YouTube feed of these press conferences and acting like you in the building because you're not in the building. And you're out here spreading misinformation, leading people off. There was a lot of stuff that happened on Wednesday to open my eye. I understand we in a clickbaited world, not just a business, but a clickbaited world on social media. Everybody wants to get a scoop. Everybody wants to be the first thing to know stuff. It's okay to just be a fan. I'm not saying this is a guy who started covering the team and I think I'm just better than niggas. No, that's not the point. I'm telling you, you're spreading information and you're making yourself look stupid and you're putting out stuff out there that really doesn't need to be out there. The crazy Alan Williams theories that we saw from people who were acting like they were in the building. The crazy things of people saying that's going on. Stop it, bro. Be a fan. There's nothing wrong with being a fan. It's enjoyable. I enjoyed it for a long time. Even part of me, I wish I still had that fan. I still have that fan in me, but I wish I still had it to where I used to have it, where I didn't care about what's happening behind the scenes. Once you see how the food is made, it jades you. It makes you jaded a little bit, honestly. And people told me this when I first started covering the Bears that you're probably not going to care as much. And for anybody who's following me on Twitter these last 13, 14 years I've been on this app, y'all know many rants I've gone on in my day. There are pure fan emotion that I just don't have anymore. But I say that let the media do their jobs. We all have our parts to play. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say that everybody in the media is great. No, there's some that's good. There's some that are bad. There's some who their intentions are in the right place. Some are. I'm not saying that all these guys are great. I'm just saying stay a fan and let the actual media members be media members. So my Goofy Mog of the week are to you people who are fake Twitter Bears reporters who are trying to tell people what's going on in the building, and you have no idea what's going on in the building, man. So that's why I'm going to give my Goofy Mog of the week to, man. So this has been another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I just want to give a shout out to everybody who has
Scott,
watched
real quick, before you say something, because as somebody in the medium and in journalism and all of that stuff, I want to say shout out to you, all right? Because I think what you said was very important and it needs to be highlighted, because I think that shit like that does people like you a disservice. And what I mean by that is like people like you and your brother, people like Herb and the Bigs and other independent media outlets that you have
Thomas,
people,
everybody, HNB.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it gives all of y'all, y'all are doing everything that y'all supposed to do the right way. And you have people that do it the wrong way. Spread rumors and innuendo and do aggregate type of journalism, even if you're not in the building, not doing your due diligence to report things the right way. And that was the one thing that I thought about this whole thing all week long is, with people like those people, do the shit that they do, and it affects people like you all that are independent not at Fox, not at NBC, not at ABC, CBS, not at ESPN, and not at these big networks. But you all were on the front line really like killing these people. So, I want to say shout out to y'all for doing y'all thing and reporting this the right way, the Chicago Bears thing the right way, and not doing things for clicks. We are in the business for clicks, but y'all do things the right way to get the clicks so y'all could be respected at what y'all do. So I think I wanted to take this time to say, shouts out to you all and all of the other independent journalists, because this definitely could have went left for all of you all. And it's harder for you all to be trusted than some of these other people because of name and recognition. And it's easy for you to get balled up into the sports mockeries and all of that shit in the world. So shouts out to y'all.
I appreciate that, my brother. My guy Herb Howard. I said Herb. My guy Herb. My bad, Herb Howard. He put it perfectly in the tweet. I feel like Wednesday was a learning experience for everybody. I think it was a learning experience for people who follow the team. They want to be fake reporters. I think it was a learning experience for actual media to not jump the gun before things get confirmed. I think it was a learning day for Justin Fields to know that the media is going to take what you say and deliver the news. And I also feel like one thing I got to give Justin credit to, Justin didn't come off on us like he was mad at us or that he had a problem with us and we were the enemy. He complimented us multiple times and said, y'all just got a job to do. And he said, maybe I should do a better job. So I got to give credit to Justin for that. I think he handled it as well as any 23-year-old could handle it. I've been 23 before, and I've never been a 23-year-old who had the fate of one of the biggest franchises and the entire NFL on his back like Justin is. I do got to give him credit for that. Dante, Courtney, anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here and we wrap this thing up?
Nah, I ain't got nothing. We're getting to the tail end of a very contentious American League West battle. All the teams are within like a game and a half of each other in the top of the division, and not including even the wild card race. So like I said before, getting on my soapbox, if you didn't watch baseball before, now is a great time to get involved. Go Rangers and Roll Tide.
I'm about to say MLBBro.com will be my third year covering the Braves for the postseason.
Oh yeah.
So gearing up for that. We got a couple series left. They play the Cubs this week. So check me out over there. It's gonna be a great playoffs, like you said. It's a lot of good baseball. Like a lot of teams, the Baltimore Orioles supplies a lot of people. I'm really excited to see Camden Yards in October. That's something we haven't seen in a long time. Yeah. That's gonna be fun. So you really can't beat it. It's gonna be a great year, and hopefully we get Braves Dodgers NLCS. That's what I want. That'll be my personal World Series.
I have a Dodger hat on right now. I have it backwards so you can't see the logo. But we still rocking with the Dodgers. But I do not think they will be there because them niggas have no pitching. Two of these dudes should be in prison for their off-field antics. And Walker Buehler.
Who else?
Julio Urias is.
I know Julio, but who was the other
somebody else too, right? I think it was somebody else. I could be off, but I
know the young dude, Bobby.
Buddy.
He had
two of them.
He had two complaints.
Bobby Miller?
Yeah.
Wait. What do you mean?
We'll go in depth with it, but he had a few.
He had a couple of.
A few former Flames reach out. They said some things about Bobby. He wasn't
a couple allegations.
Oh my god!
Allegations.
Yeah.
So we don't want to say specific, but right. I don't think.
I feel like that black dude that got upset when he thought his TV was broken. God damn!
You like Florida Evans? Damn. That's what you like right now. But I don't think that the Dodgers gonna do much because of the pitching situation. I hope I'm wrong, but we will have a lot of baseball coverage coming up. We have a special guest that I will announce soon, who will be coming on the show to preview the NL and ALDS. So we're looking forward to that. But like I said, shout out to everybody who's retweeted a clip, who's watched our reels. I feel like our reels are averaging like 10,000 plays a reel. So shout out to everybody who has been posting. Even if they're negative comments, I appreciate all the comments. Y'all be angry on TikTok. I don't even. They just be angry on TikTok. But shout out to everybody who's retweeted a clip, anything. We appreciate all love and support y'all been giving this show, and we just try and take it to another level this entire season, man. Like I said, no show on Monday. I'll be coming back in Kansas City. No show on Monday. We will be back in a week on Friday to get y'all ready for week 4. And also we will Mikey will be back next week. Mikey has not forgotten about his weekly parlay. I'll be dropping his video Sunday morning per usual. He gave me an on-location video. Wow. This nigga was in New Mexico. Yeah, on location. Hot air balloon. On location
for the
video.
First of the month too. That's a real man.
Yeah. Shout out to Mikey. He said he gonna make y'all some money this week. So pay attention to Mikey's weekly parlay dropping on Sunday, man. So shout out to Chaz for joining us. We will be back next Friday, and we should have a special guest next Friday too. I'll have it confirmed, but we'll be back next week. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChair Scott. You know to follow Dante at OctoberZone Tay. Follow Courtney at 1-800-CALL-A BRO. And, of course, follow JR Bang at JR Bang on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/BarbersChair Network. We will be back with summer sessions next Tuesday. Me, Bang, Pav, Merc. We did not have one this week because I was with Pavy at his pop's retirement party. So we were not there on Tuesday. But we'll be back next Tuesday. So, yeah, man, that's all we got for y'all. And we will holler at y'all next week. We up out of here.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna